Back to our game coming up next here on Fox Texas, hosting Oklahoma State. Coach, it's kind of the lesser of two evils in this one for you. You like Texas or do you like Oklahoma State?
Yeah, I like the fact that Texas gave up 340 rushing yards to OU a week ago. I don't think they fixed it all in 1 week. I think Jaylen Warren, his ability to run, Spencer Sanders, also ability to run. I've got Oklahoma State beating them 31-27.
Good call, Coach. I'm going to go with Texas 31-28 today. But the biggest thing we've talked about all show long is Oklahoma State's defense, in particular third down and what they do. One of the best third down defenses in the country, going up against Bijan, Casey Thompson, that high-scoring offense. Something has to give there. But I think Texas bounces back from last week and they get the win.
I think Texas is going to get the win. Bijan Robinson is going to play great today against this man coverage. I have Texas winning 35-34.
I'm with you, Reg. I got a close one here. Texas winning 31-30. X Factor, Xavier Worthy. Remember, Jordan Whittingham, wide receiver at Texas, he'll be out for this one, so Worthy's got to continue to step up and be big.
You think Texas can bounce back after that kind of deflating loss in the rivalry game, the Cotton Bowl last weekend?
I mean, look, all their goals are still in front of them right now. I mean, there's nothing that says they can't go back and have a rematch versus Oklahoma in the Big 12 championship game. So when I'm looking at this matchup, it's I don't want to say an elimination game, but in essence, it kind of is.
Yep. Absolutely.
I like Mike Gundy's experience going into Austin. Like I said earlier, he had 5 straight wins in Austin between like 2010 and 2017. So he knows how to win in that stadium.
I think, Brady, you talked about it earlier, Oklahoma State. We'll kind of find out more about them. You know, obviously they had a couple wins against ranked opponents at the time. We'll find out if they're legit today. And then with Texas, you just talked about it, but I said it earlier in the show, really going to learn a lot about the mentality of this football team.
Think about the big plays last week that Oklahoma got going. Really, I mean, does Spencer Sanders and the passing attack, Tay Martin, some of the other younger wide receivers, do they have that same ability today, or does it all have to be Jaylen Warren? If that's the case, I think Oklahoma State's going to have a hard time scoring points.
Absolutely. And then for Texas, on offense, they've already given up 13 sacks in 5 games. So that's going to be an area of concern that I'm looking forward to see how they protect up the quarterback, especially with all these exotic looks that the Oklahoma State likes to give you.
I think last week is going to hurt Texas. I think it did take a lot out of them. I know how hot it is in that Cotton Bowl playing. It took a lot out of them. It's going to bother them. And again, I still believe the run game is going to make a difference.
Coach, you just hate Texas.
Well, that's true. I got to admit, that's part of it. That's part of it.
Horns down.
Oh, wow.
So
Snuck that one in, Coach. Snuck that one in.
Ain't no flags on this show.
Hey, we'll see you next time. Halftime. Out to Austin, Joe Pratt and Gus Johnson.
Big Noon Saturday is sponsored by AT&T Business from Darrell K. Royal, Texas Memorial Stadium. We've got a battle between 2 top 25 teams who happen to be bitter rivals as number 12 and undefeated Oklahoma State comes to the town to take on the 25th ranked Texas Longhorns. Hi, everybody. I'm Gus Johnson, along with my quarterback, Joel Klatt, and welcome to Austin, Texas. Oklahoma State, Texas, a big rivalry game, usually a high-scoring game. And as for the Texas Longhorns, they're trying to bounce back from their Red River loss last week to Oklahoma. And, folks, we're going to get an opportunity to see one of the best players in the nation. His name is Bijan. And like Dijon, this kid can cut the mustard.
I was going to wait for when you were going to break that out. You got it right in the open. I love it. Listen, I've been texting you all week. I've been so excited to get down here. You know why? Bijan Robinson is quite clearly one of the most dynamic offensive players in all of college football. And in an awkward year where everybody is losing at the top of college football, here's a guy, even with 2 losses, I think can make a push towards a Heisman Trophy. He's that good. He's that dynamic. Now, on the other side, Spencer Sanders, the quarterback for Oklahoma State, he has to limit the mistakes. He threw 3 interceptions against Baylor in their last game. They were able to overcome that and win the game. He can't do that today against a high-powered Texas team. If he plays clean, then maybe they can get another one of those victories that Coach Stoops was talking about here in Austin for Mike Gundy.
All right, Oklahoma State coming off the bye. They should be nice and fresh for this one. Time now to go downstairs and join the 3rd member of our team on the sideline, the All-American girl, Jenny Taft.
Well, Gus, no loss is easy, but blowing a 21-point lead against your rival, Oklahoma, yeah, it hurts. When we sat down with head coach Steve Sarkisian yesterday, he said our team has an ultimate goal of playing Oklahoma again in the Big 12 championship game. That only happens with a response today. Safe to say Oklahoma State got their attention real quick this week. Defensively, they must be better. Moro Ojomo told me that every player on that D-line must take it personally, stopping the run. And something else I'll be monitoring today, guys, quarterback Casey Thompson, he injured his throwing thumb last week and admitted to us yesterday it still hurts when he's throwing. He received treatment all week, and it was very clear in warm-ups. He was trying to keep it loose, keep stretching it out. We'll see how he handles that adversity today, guys.
All right, Jenny, thank you. Texas won the toss, will receive. What a perfect day for football. Cooled off last night, folks. So today, 66 degrees at kickoff time here in Austin for this rivalry game between Oklahoma State and Texas. It's a series that dates back to 1916 when they met in San Antonio. The Longhorns lead it 26-9 and have won 2 straight. Oklahoma State, their last game, they beat Baylor 24-14 in Stillwater 2 weeks ago. And Texas losing to Oklahoma in Red River 55-48. Mike Gundy, truly one of the great coaches in America. He's done so much with this Oklahoma State program, and he'll be facing Steve Sarkisian on the other sideline in his first year. Cowboys and Longhorns, here we go. And this one into the end zone for a touchback, and that brings on Casey Thompson.
Really interested to see that thumb early in this game that Jenny just told us about. He's got it wrapped. He looked good yesterday in practice, and he has been excellent ever since he entered the starting lineup. Since he entered the starting lineup here for Texas, they average 52 points per game. This guy's preparation, his perseverance, it's been second to none. Can't wait to watch him today against Oklahoma State.
Casey Thompson, 20 of 34, 388, 5 touchdowns, no picks, sacked 3 times last week against OU. 1st and 10 at the 25, and they'll give it to Bijan Robinson over the right side with a lane, and he'll gain 7.5, 8 on the play. Jason Taylor with the tackle offensively for UT.
Some change-ups on the offensive line. Derek Herstetter is going to go from left guard out to right tackle. It's his more natural position. They feel like they'll be better up front because of it. And then on the outside, you've got some absolute speedsters. Xavier Worthy, the true freshman, he broke out onto the scene last week with over 200 yards. And Joshua Moore as well. He can run deep down the field, and this is going to be a tough test for Oklahoma State.
2nd down and 2 at the 33. And they hand it off. Robinson running right with the 1st down and more. And let's go to the defense for the Cowboys.
This is a very good defense. This is a defense that is veteran. They're experienced. They rotate a lot of guys up front, try to stay fresh and get after the quarterback. These 2 linebackers, they're active. They're older players, very strong in the middle. And then this secondary is one of the most experienced and veteran secondaries in the entire sport. And I love to watch them attack the football after the pass.
So a 1st down for Texas at the 38-yard line. Robinson, the single setback. Thompson wants to throw it. Steps up in the pocket. On the move now. Tucks it. And he'll get out of bounds with a solid gain of 6 yards. Devin Harper there chasing it.
This defense for Oklahoma State, they do a lot of different things. Again, with veteran players, you can line up in several different looks, a lot of exotic looks. They run a 4-2-5. That means 4 defensive linemen, 2 linebackers, and 5 defensive backs. Because of that, Gus, they have 3 safeties on the field, and they can make things look very difficult for the quarterback. So Casey Thompson's got his work cut out for him.
2nd down and 4 at the 44. Opening series for Texas. Watch this. A little trickery. And this is Robinson down the sideline, high stepping, cuts it in and goes down at the Oklahoma State 30. Devin Harper with a tackle, but it's a gain of 25.
Using Bijan Robinson as a bit of a decoy here. They're going to bring Keelan Robinson, the transfer from Alabama, followed Stark over here into Austin. You see the speed. He transfers from Alabama, and this is a guy that has some ability, and I think is going to get a few more carries here today.
1st down and 10. Ball at the 31. Thompson looking. Thompson standing strong in the pocket, and he finds Bijan Robinson, and Bijan Robinson powers his way inside the Oklahoma State 15-yard line for a gain of 17. Harper again with the tackle.
Great running backs only become dynamic offensive threats when they can do everything. Here, motion out of the backfield, lines up as a wide receiver. A nice little slant route, catches it well, and then makes somebody miss.
12th reception of the season for Bijan Robinson, now on the ground, and he'll fall down close to the 10.
This is the area of the field where Oklahoma State is very good, is in the red zone. Normally what you see is they'll give up some yardage here and there, but then they'll force you to kick. They force you to bring that field goal kicker out and settle for a field goal. That's been a strength of theirs. They're in the top 20 in college football, and touchdown percentage given up for Mike Gundy inside the red zone. So this is imperative that Texas, on a quality series, can punch this into the end zone.
2nd down and 7 at the 11 on a drive that started at the 25. Robinson is the pistol back. And Thompson lobs it corner of the end zone. Incomplete. Nobody there. Xavier Worthy, the talented freshman, looks like he was the target, or either Joshua Moore.
Jarek Bernard Converse with a good coverage on the outside, just to let Worthy kind of sink right into his lap. And now here's that 3rd down that I was talking about, trying to force a field goal after a positive offensive series. This would be a big win for Oklahoma State here.
8th play of the drive. 3rd and 7 at the 11. Thompson guns it underneath, caught, 1st down. Joshua Moore. Jason Taylor defensively for OK State.
As Thompson's going to put his eyes on this right side, he just has to wait for a moment, and now you see that route, just a little bit of a delayed slant. It comes into the inside, and that's a beautiful ball from Thompson. It does not look like that thumb is bothering him. That was accurate, right on the money.
Casey Thompson starts this game 4 of 5. 1st and goal at the 2-yard line. Here's the handoff. Bijan Robinson, met at the line of scrimmage, will power his way forward and get close to the 1. Tyler Lacey with the tackle.
Steve Sarkisian is one of the most creative play callers down near the goal line. I talked about it in Big Noon Kickoff. A lot of times what he'll do is he gives his quarterback the option to either run it or have a one-on-one on the outside. He's got one of those up top right now.
2nd down and goal at the 1. Robinson again. Robinson turns a corner and does not get in. Oklahoma State denies him. Lamont Bishop lowered his shoulder and just knocked him out of bounds.
Here's the run. Watch this. And again, it's Bishop as well as Bernard Converse. The corner, 24, had the great coverage earlier in this series, and he's able to knock Robinson out at the 1-yard line.
So that brings up 3rd down and goal at the 1-yard line. Oklahoma State, can they hold? This is Texas's opening series. Out of the offset eye. Robinson left, cuts it in. Touchdown, Texas. Bijan Robinson.
What's the lead block? You got to get those linebackers blocked. It's so hard to do, but right there, bang. 2 for 1. Bijan Robinson then is able to squeeze into the end zone for a touchdown.
Brings on Cameron Dicker for the extra point, and it's good. 11 plays covering 75 yards. Texas eats up 4 minutes and 52 seconds. Bijan Robinson, pay dirt. UT up 7-zip. Big Noon Saturday is sponsored by AT&T Business, keeping your business connected with AT&T 5G. And by Progressive Insurance, save when you bundle auto, home, or motorcycle insurance. All right, time now for Progressive Game Flow. You're in Austin, Texas. Darrell K. Royal, Texas Memorial Stadium, opened back in 1924. These two teams, pillars in the Big 12 Conference. Bijan Robinson with his 9th rushing touchdown of the year on that 11-play drive. Robinson touched it 7 times, 5 runs and 2 catches. Touchback. And that'll bring out Oklahoma State's offense. Spencer Sanders, the quarterback.
He's a guy who's coming off of his worst start of the year with 3 interceptions, but he does run hot and cold. And last year against Texas, he played really well. In fact, he threw for 400 yards and a nice win for the Oklahoma State Cowboys. He's got to recreate some of that magic, and he does have some players back and healthy on the outside at wide receiver.
So 1st and 10 at the 25. And Sanders drops back deep, guns it to the sideline, and incomplete. He had his man Tay Martin. Martin laying out for it, just couldn't hold on.
Boy, this is an aggressive play call. You got to love it from Mike Gundy. And that one probably should have been caught. Tay Martin, the senior, he's a transfer from Washington State, been here for a couple of years. Struggled with his health earlier this season, but he's back, he's healthy, and they had a chance there for a big one.
2nd down and 10 of the 25. Play fake. Sanders again looking. Drops it off to Jaylen Warren. Texas ready. And Luke Brockermeyer, the linebacker, with the tackle, a 1-yard gain offensively for OSU.
A couple of transfers up front. Josh Stills, Danny Godlewski. They come in from West Virginia and Miami of Ohio, respectively, and they've done a nice job in the run game. Jaylen Warren, the running back, everything in this offense really goes through him. He's been a workhorse and a very good transfer from Utah State. He's the type of guy they're going to need to get the ball 20, 25 times.
3rd down and 9 of the 26. Texas with a chance to get off the field. Oklahoma State, they give it to Warren. Warren slashing, cutting, and it looks like he has the 1st down. Anthony Cook with the tackle. But Jaylen Warren from Salt Lake City, he may be a little bit short.
Yeah, he's got to get to that 35, and you see right when his elbow hits, he is just short, and that's going to be a stop for Texas. Oklahoma State gambled a little bit. They saw 2 deep safeties, Gus, and they thought we could sneak a run in there for a 1st down, and he was oh so close to getting that ball all the way to the 35.
3 consecutive 100-yard games for Jaylen Warren coming into this one. So Tom Hutton will punt it away. Oklahoma State 3 and out. Deshaun Jameson will be back deep as they take a look.
Well, they're going to take a look at this, but this was an excellent spot by the officials in real time. As soon as that right elbow hit, where is the ball? There you go. It's just short. Terrific job by the officials. Come in, spot it accurately. This one will stand, and it'll be 4th down for Oklahoma State.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is confirmed. 4th down.
Michael Vandeveld, our referee today.
So Tom Hutton will punt it from the 20. Deshaun Jameson is the deep man. And Hutton, end over end kick. Jameson comes up to field it. Looking for a lane. Going backwards. Gets a block. Up the sideline. No, and a flag. 42-yard punt, 8-yard return.
I guess that flag is way back deep, basically at the line of scrimmage, just past it. Usually that means that there's some type of hold early on in the return.
During the kick, holding number 37, receiving team. 10-yard penalty. 1st down, Texas. Timeout on the field.
All right, coming up, Bijan Robinson and the Texas offense. Longhorns up 7-0 over Oklahoma State. Fox Bet Super 6 has had back-to-back Big Noon contest winners, and you'll still have a chance, a free chance, to make it 3 weeks in a row. Just scan the QR code now to enter and play for free. You could be the next $10,000 winner. So Texas will start. First down and 10 at their own 15. Robinson in the backfield. And here comes Thompson looking with time. Incomplete. Joshua Moore, the receiver, targeted, and a flag.
Holding, number 67. Offense, half the distance to goal. Still first down.
It's Tope Imade, and in his 6th year of eligibility here in Texas, making his first start today. He's the guy that's going to come over and he's going to try to block right here, and he's just going to reach out and get a little hold right there as Thompson's setting up, trying to get the ball down the field.
And Thompson over the middle. Incomplete. Joshua Moore, the target once again, so that'll bring up second down and long. Need 18.
This Texas offense talked about wanting to stretch the field both widthwise and vertically, but they have not been able to, so far, to get the ball pushed down the field.
Washington in motion. They swing it out to him. Washington. Oh, what a beautiful tackle at the 10-yard line. Christian Holmes says, come here.
Hey, you know what I love about Christian Holmes? I'm down there on pregame, and I'm looking at him. He's got the best socks in college football. Folks, look at the socks. I mean, old school, right? I love that. Look at those. And a great play on the outside. That's a veteran corner right there making a play.
Third down and 15 for Texas at the 10. Thompson. Dancing. And incomplete. He had pressure in his face. That Oklahoma State defense, folks, they're veterans and they're tough. Tyler Lacey, number 89 with pressure. And UT will have to punt it away. Oklahoma State with an opportunity to get great field position.
You know, they have such a high pressure rate, getting pressure on the quarterback, but it's not because of blitzes normally. Normally what you see is that they've got coverage sacks and pressures, and there was another example. Casey Thompson having to hold the ball.
Intentional grounding, number 11. Offense, lost it down at the spot of the foul. Fourth down.
Well, he was not outside of the tackle box. He got hit, and he was trying to throw. I thought that there was a receiver in the area. I don't know about that call.
Presley, the deep man for OK State at the 50. Cameron Dicker out of the back of his own end zone. Presley, he'll get a shot at it. And Presley will get inside Texas territory before being taken down.
Another flag on the play here. You know, Gus, I think they're going to call this a block in the back. Looks like.
During the return, illegal block in the back, number 12. Receiving team, 10-yard penalty. First down, timeout.
7-0 Texas. Spencer Sanders and the Oklahoma State offense on the field when we return. Time to celebrate Fansville and college football's return to glory with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper, the one fans deserve. Down here in Texas, Joel, Dr. Pepper is a tradition. First and 10 at the 35. Oklahoma State 3 and out on their first series. Sanders winds up, double clutches it, throws it. Tay Martin with the catch. Let's take a look at the Texas defense.
Well, this defense is going to be without one of their starters. Jacoby Jones broke his foot last week against Oklahoma, so Alfred Collins is going to be in there, a younger player at the defensive end position. Overshown, the linebacker, he's the most talented player they have. He's a missile, too. He can fly around. This is a veterans secondary, but they have not been great this year, giving up a lot of big plays and a lot of missed tackles.
2nd down and 7 at the 38. They run the option, the traditional option, nowhere. Spencer Sanders gobbled up. And he'll be tackled for a loss of 1 on the play. Why don't you see the regular option in college football, the old Oklahoma, Nebraska option?
It's just limiting because it's going one direction, where now you have these RPOs that are just, it's evolved, Gus. You know, they're still running kind of triple option style or philosophical things with the RPO, the run pass option, and it attacks the entire field and not just one area of the field.
3rd down and 8 at the 37. Sanders in trouble. Rolls out. And Sanders roughed up Keondre Coburn right there. The flag on the play.
You know, he went up and grabbed him kind of on that back collar. It wasn't late. He still had the ball. He was still inbounds. But watch as he goes and grabs that back collar for a horse collar right there. You see that right hand? That's when the flag came out. I think that's what they're discussing on the sideline.
They went Keondre Coburn.
Personal foul. Horse collar tackle, number 99. Defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic. 1st down.
Boy, mistake there. I know Coburn's hustling. He's trying to do everything he can there, Gus. But, boy, there was nowhere to throw that ball. And that's going to be a nice stop for this Texas defense. And they're bailed out by that penalty. And Oklahoma State now gets a little bit of life and good field position.
Coburn, he can run 6'2", 346. So a 1st down for the Cowboys at the 45. Near side throw. And it's caught. Owens down the sideline, and he'll get inside Texas territory, close to the 40.
Yeah, and this Texas defense in the secondary, in particular the corners and the safeties, they play very soft. You can pitch those easy throws out there all day long if you want to, if you're the Cowboys.
Gain of 12 from the 43, 1st down. Warren slashing through the hole, goes to the sideline, daylight, and he's down at the 29. Josh Thompson grabs him, but that's a 14-yard run.
And this run game is the engine for this Oklahoma State offense, and Warren is a guy that's going to start getting the ball quite a bit.
1st down at the 29. Play fake. Sanders looking over the middle, and he throws a strike at the 10-yard line to Tay Martin. Oklahoma State moving it now. B.J. Foster brings him down after a 20-yard gain.
Good patience, allowing Martin to get into that soft spot of the zone, and then a very good ball there from Sanders.
1st down and goal at the 9. And it's Sanders with the run. He'll spin and get to the 6. Thompson again defensively.
Quarterbacks that have had the ability to use their legs and run have really hurt Texas so far this year. If you're a Texas fan, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This defense has not stopped the run very well at all, in particular against their more quality opponents, namely Arkansas and Oklahoma. And here on this series, Oklahoma State's run game has gotten loose a little bit.
2nd down and goal at the 6-yard line. Warren. And he'll get inside the 5. Joel, I'll tell you what, these teams are playing fast.
Yeah, and this is where Texas's defense has got to rise to the occasion and force a field goal here from Oklahoma State. You can't settle against Texas's offense. You cannot settle for field goals. So this is a big snap here for Oklahoma State. Got to punch it into the end zone.
3rd down, goal at the 4. Warren in the backfield. And they'll throw the fade in the corner. Incomplete. Tay Martin had it. But Josh Thompson may have gotten a hand in it to punch it out.
Really good throw from Spencer Sanders. This one's right on the money. You got to feeling Tay Martin's. He's got to corral that. It hits his hands, even though Thompson is coming up to defend. Right there, that ball's got to be secure. Brought into his chest, foot down. That should be a touchdown for Oklahoma State. Now they got to settle for the kick.
Tanner Brown comes in to attempt a 21-yarder. And it's good. 7-3. Cowboys will settle for the field goal. Back to Austin after this. Big Noon Saturday is sponsored by Pacific Life. More than 150 years strong. Protect what matters most. And by High Noon Hard Seltzer. Please, sun sip responsibly. Welcome back to Austin. In their last 4 meetings, Texas and Oklahoma State have played 4 one-possession games, including 2 that went to overtime in 2017 and 2020. They've split the 4 games, with Texas winning the last 2.
You touched on it earlier, what Mike Gundy has built here at Oklahoma State. And ever since, 2010, it's been the second-best program in the Big 12.
Brown sends it away. And Jamison will start from the goal line. And Jamison up the sideline. Nice return. He'll get across the 25. Coming up next on Fox. The ALCS continues with a huge game 2. The Red Sox take on the Astros. Catch the action next on Fox and the Fox Sports app.
Correa and Altuve went deep in game 1. See how this one pans out. Here's your probable starters. Nathan Eovaldi, Louis Garcia. Should be a good one. That's a heck of a series right there.
You miss playing
Hernandez, by the way. He's great too.
You miss playing baseball?
No. You know why?
Why?
Baseball is a game of failure, guys.
You're a star if you can do it 3 out of 10, right? Xavier Worthy. And flags.
I think Robinson got a little bit of a head start. They had both backs to the left side of Casey Thompson try to lead out in front of the speedy freshman Xavier Worthy, and it looked like Robinson just got
Full start. Number 5. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
He's going to jump out. Now he's going to lead for Worthy out in front. You see him just get a head start, and now Texas again is going to be backed up behind the chains and off schedule in this series.
That's 5 penalties on Texas already. They average 5, and they'll swing it out. More and more tackled at the line of scrimmage. Jason Taylor, well done. But how about, we talked about Mike Gundy, 54 years now, 54 years old now. Remember when he was 40, folks? He told everybody in his 17th year at Oklahoma State, the winningest coach in Oklahoma State history, 15 straight winning seasons and 15 straight bowl games after going 4-7 in his first season in 2005. And the hair keeps getting better and better as he gets older. 2nd and 15 at the 22. Here's the handoff. Robinson with a big hole, and Bijan Robinson crosses the 30. Up to the 32, Devin Harper with the tackle. Gain 9.
Well, now on 3rd down, though, this was always going to be interesting coming in. Oklahoma State's the best 3rd down team in the Big 12. They were the #1 team on 3rd down in the country last year, and Texas is without Jordan Whittington, who was their #1 target on 3rd down. So I'm interested to see where Casey Thompson and Steve Sarkisian try to go with the football here on critical downs.
Bijan Robinson lines up as a wide receiver. Empty backfield for Casey Thompson. 3rd and 6. Thompson over the middle. Caught. Washington down the sideline, and he'll go down to the 10. Jason Taylor with a tackle. But it's a 58-yard gain, and Casey Thompson put it on the money.
They're going to try to double team Casey Thompson. Watch these 2 Oklahoma State players, and Thompson's just going to split them and go right down the middle of the field. Great read by Casey Thompson, and there you go. It's a big completion to Washington, who is the guy who is replacing Jordan Whittington. So it's the same position as Whittington, who got all those 3rd down targets, and they go back to that spot, that slot receiver that can exploit the middle of the field.
1st down and 10 at the 11. Thompson again. Thompson in trouble, and he'll just throw it at the feet of Jared Wiley. Tyler Lacey with pressure.
Rounding number 18 was in the area. 2nd down.
And remember what what I said about the pressure rate from Oklahoma State? You look at the statistics and you think, oh, man, they're a great pass rushing team. And yes, while they're aggressive up front and they can get to the passer, generally it happens because the quarterback has to hold the ball. The coverage sacks, those defensive backs are so good. You see the sacks per game, the QB pressure rate, all first in the Big 12. But it's really a product of the veteran secondary never getting beat. And there was a great example.
Second down and 10 at the 11. Robinson hopping through the hole. No, it's Thompson. As he gets out of bounds. Great deception by this Texas offense. Run-pass option. That's what you talk about all the time.
Yeah, and here's another one of those opportunities where Steve Sarkisian's going to have to give his quarterback those types of options. And when I say, well, what do you mean by give him options? I mean, the play caller needs to give the quarterback the ability to make the offense right. Some sort of full field read so that he can read the width of the defense and then go where the defenders aren't. It sounds simple, but it's something that is very effective.
3rd and 9 at the 10. Thompson off his back foot in the end zone. And he's out of bounds. Dixon couldn't get a foot in.
Check out Colin Oliver getting the pressure, and he just couldn't get enough steam on that pass on the outside, so it floated. Because it floated, it was late getting there, and then once he secures it, it looks like that next step was on the line. Remember, it's control, then a body part or a foot in, and it didn't look like he had it there, and Texas will have to settle for a field goal.
Brings on Cameron Dicker last week against Oklahoma, 2 for 2 with a long of 41 yards. This one from 28 yards away. And he nails it. 10-3 Texas, 12 versus 25 in the Big 12. Today's game is featured on the free-to-play Fox Bet Super 6 app. One of the questions in this contest is, which team will win and by how many points? Oklahoma State or Texas? There are chances to win all season long.
Both defenses on the last couple of series. Gus forcing field goals.
Dicker will send it away. Dominic Richardson is the deep man for Oklahoma State. And this went into the end zone for a touchback.
Oklahoma State offense found some success in the middle part of the field on their last series, and they did that by exploiting the soft coverage that Texas is playing in the secondary. Normally what you see from Texas is 2 high safeties way back there, and then their corners also play soft. So you can throw out little wide receiver bubbles on the outside and handing the football off in the interior of the offensive line, getting downhill with Jaylen Warren. I think it's going to be effective for them here on this series if they want to get back to it.
First down. Sanders rolling, drops it off. And a nice gain as Cassidy will get to the 41 before being taken down. Braden Cassidy, redshirt junior from Austin.
Just wonder about the confidence level of this Texas defense after what happened a week ago, giving up over 600 yards to OU.
Warren running right. And Warren knocked backwards. Great job by Alfred Collins, the sophomore. 1-yard gain, 2nd and 9.
Remember, he's in for the injured Jacoby Jones, and they need him to be strong, in particular against that run game.
Sanders in trouble. Breaks a tackle. On the move. And flips it out of bounds. That'll bring up 3rd and 9. Great pressure by Byron Murphy. Freshman from DeSoto.
Now it's going to be on Oklahoma State having to step up. trying to make a play in the passing game. Tay Martin, number one, is the target. Whether it's third down, normal course of offense, you've got to know where Tay Martin is at all times. That's where Spencer Sanders wants to go with the football.
3rd and 9 at the 40-yard line. Sanders underneath. He's got Presley. And Presley dives forward and picks up the first. And that should take us to the end of the first quarter. 10-3 Texas. Oklahoma State moving the ball. Big Noon Saturday is sponsored by AT&T Business, Oklahoma State and Texas. Russ Johnson, Joel Klatt, Jenny Taft with you. Darrell K. Royal, Texas Memorial Stadium. First down for the Cowboys at the 49. Jaylen Warren, the deep man. Play action. Sanders to the sideline. Nice throw. Great catch. Tay Martin, first down. He gained about 14, maybe 15 on the play, but there is a flag.
Going to be a hold on that offensive line. You know,
Holding number 72. Offense, 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
72 is Josh Sills. As Sills is trying to block as the left guard. He's working against, it looks like, Moro Ojimo just tackles him down to the ground. It's so interesting to me. It's fascinating. When they've been just running the football with Jaylen Warren, they've had a lot of success. 4 carries, 25 yards, 6 a pop. When they're just throwing it out to the outside, taking advantage of that soft defense, they're having a lot of success. When they're trying to throw it down the field, that's when the pass rush is showing up.
Sideline again. This time, it's Rashad Owens with the catch. Number 7.
Those short completions are there. The run game is there, but when you try to throw it deep into a soft coverage, you got to hold the ball as a quarterback. That's what has allowed the defensive line to have some success.
Warren trying to get downhill, pick up a couple. Jaylen Ford, number 41, brings him to the ground.
There's a good opportunity here after that holding call for Texas to try to get off the field.
3rd and 11. Oklahoma State trailing 10-3. They're 1 of 3 on 3rd down conversions to start this game. Texas showing blitz. Here they come. Sanders backpedaling and incomplete. Good pressure by Texas. And the Cowboys are forced to punt.
Great stunt here. You're going to get Alfred Collins from the defensive end position. He's coming around, and then you're also going to get a blitz on the outside. And that pressure makes Sanders move to his left, and he's trying to fade away and get the ball down the field and just can't.
Tom Hutton punting from the 34. Jamison back deep inside his own 10. Jamison from the 11. And he's tackled and brought down immediately. A 40-yard punt. And that's where Casey Thompson and the Texas offense will start when we come back.
Pacific Life Game Summary sponsored by Pacific Life. More than 150 years strong. Here it is. Texas up 10-3 over Oklahoma State. They have driven the ball down a couple of times, had to settle for a field goal there, 138 total yards, but those 5 penalties have stalled them out a little bit. And on the Oklahoma State side, a couple of good offensive series, but have not been able to punch it in the end zone.
Texas starting deep in their own territory at the 12-yard line. First down. Bijan Robinson. And he'll power forward. Robinson picking up 5. Jaden Jernigan with the tackle.
Love this kid. I mean, he's so good. 6 foot, 214 pounds. He is strong, over 300 pounds in terms of squat. He's fast, but it's more about his ability to stop and start. That's what makes him so good.
Second down and 4. This time it's Keelan Robinson.
You remember watching Reggie? And Reggie Bush, what made him so dynamic is he could be going full speed one direction. And in the next instant, he was going full speed the other direction, right? It's that ability to stop, jump cut, go a different direction. That's kind of what Bijan has, and he grew up idolizing Reggie. They hadn't met yet, so yesterday I put him on a FaceTime call in our meeting with Reggie and watched him meet one of his idols for the first time. It was very cool.
Third down and 3 and incomplete. Remember, Bijan Robinson is from Tucson, Arizona. West Coast influence, Reggie Bush, the legend. This kid's got a chance, number 5.
And then in an unpredictable year of college football where the best team in Georgia doesn't have a clear star for the Heisman, and we've got all the traditional powers having lost already, it's not out of the realm of possibility if Texas were able to go through this stretch, win some games, find themselves in the Big 12 title, that he could win a Heisman Trophy this year.
Presley lets it take a bounce. And Texas is down. Is Georgia the best team in the country?
Right now, I don't want to see that defense. They look good.
Back to Austin in a minute. Want to tackle your fitness? Hey Siri, tell me more about Apple Fitness Plus. The Dos Equis Ultimate College Football Road Trip with our own Mark Titus and Charlotte Wilder is at Texas this week. Head to @CFB on Fox social platforms to check out all the behind-the-scenes fun in Austin. Hey, here's Charlotte. Art saw Charlotte on the elevator coming to the game today. Enthusiastic.
Come back and have action. Just go experience the campus. You know what I mean?
Oh, man, that will be fun.
Right?
First down at the 34. And it's Warren. But we did get a chance to eat some good barbecue last night.
Oh, we absolutely did.
Flag on the play.
After the play is over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 90, offense, 15-yard penalty, the down counts, second down.
That's Braden Cassidy.
Watch at the end of the play. Play's already over, play's already over, play's already over, and the extra shove. They'll give you a little beat after the whistle, but not that extra shove. And that is just an absolute mental error from Cassidy, a redshirt junior right here from Austin, Texas. Played his high school ball at Westlake.
So that'll make it second down and 26. Here comes pressure, and they give it to Warren. Warren will get through the hole. Look at him crawl forward. That's all the way up to the 32-yard line. What a great extra effort. This kid is a serious football player, partner.
And he's had such a great road to get to this moment. He was at Snow Junior College, was the National Junior College Offensive Player of the Year back in 2018, transferred to Utah State, had some success at Utah State, bet on himself and said, I'm going to go and I'm going to roll the chips, put him in the middle of the table, and head to Oklahoma State. And he's come here and really solidified this offense this year after all the injuries that they've had, in particular at the wide receiver position.
5'8", 215, 3rd and 16. Sanders will let it fly. Sanders over the middle. Incomplete. Almost intercepted. Deshaun Jameson wanted to bring it down.
This is that dangerous style of throw right over the middle, trying to get the deep in cut. Rashad Owens just can't get up high enough. Owens is a tall player, 6'2", 200 pounds. Tried to get up there, and Sanders got away with one. Very easily could have been picked off after the tip.
So Oklahoma State will have to send it away. Hutton Jamison signaling for the fair catch and has it at the 34, a 39-yard punt. 10-3, Texas with the lead and the ball.
Coming up on the State Farm halftime, can third-ranked Cincinnati remain unbeaten? Number 10, Michigan State, they look to do the same. They're at Indiana, and Texas A&M back in the top 25 after their upset over Bama. They visit Missouri. Gus, Joel, we'll see you guys at the break.
All right, Stoner, thank you very much. First down and 10 at the 34 for the Longhorns. And give it to Robinson. Hard cut. Bijan Robinson inside the Oklahoma State 40. Tanner McAllister with a tackle, but it's a pickup of 26 yards.
This is when Robinson is at his best, when he's running that stretch play. He's going one direction, and he gets the defense to stretch out. Then he can find one crease. He puts that foot in the ground, and he can jump cut into that crease. There's the explosion I'm talking about right there. That is a case study in what makes him such a great player. What a beautiful run.
First down at the Oklahoma State 40 for Texas. And Thompson hit as he throws, incomplete, and a flag. Casey Thompson took a lick. Devin Harper just lowered the boom.
Jarek Bernard Converse at corner is going to get called for a pass interference here.
Pass interference, number 24. Defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
Here's the coverage on the outside. You're going to see there's a grab, and then he gets all over him before the ball arrives with that left arm, trying to find Xavier Worthy. They haven't been able to establish Xavier Worthy a week after he went for over 200 yards against OU.
216 to be exact. Robinson running to the near side. And another great gain, close for the first down marker. Let's go downstairs and check in with JT.
Well, you guys mentioned Bijan Robinson admiring Reggie Bush as a kid. Well, why? It all started with Grandpa Cleo Robinson. He's been an official for decades, currently an instant replay official for the Pac-12. Guys, he was on the field for the Bush push. He used to bring home old school tape of Reggie for he and Bijan to watch. And I know you mentioned that FaceTime, Joel. It was pretty cool, smiling so big and getting some Heisman advice from Reggie as well.
That's right. He was. Reggie was emphatic about it.
Roschon Johnson now checks in, 2nd and 1. And Roschon Johnson went from third-string quarterback to running back last season due to injuries and ran for 646 yards and 5 touchdowns.
He did a great job, and now Robinson will come back in. You want to know what the advice was, by the way, from Reggie?
What was it?
He was like, hey, man, you got to return punts. And Bijan was like, hey, I'd love to, but, you know, that my coaches don't put me there. And Reggie was like, no, you don't understand. You need to return punts. It was great.
First down at the 13. Thompson. Touchdown UT. Bijan Robinson showing his versatility. He can run it outside, inside, and catch it out of the backfield. 13-yard score, and Texas takes a 16-3 lead.
They're going to exploit the man-to-man coverage. There's Robinson here, and here's his man player, the linebacker. He's just got an advantage, first of all, in alignment, and he takes off. Casey Thompson gets crushed in the backfield, and he's still able to put the ball on the money so that Robinson does not have to break stride. What a beautiful play design there from Steve Sarkisian.
Cameron Dicker in for the extra point, and it's good. Shades of the other number 5, the Heisman Trophy winning number 5 out of Southern California. This number 5, can he get to New York? I think so. 17-3 Texas. Big Nuke Saturday is sponsored by Jersey Mike's Subs. Be a sub above. And by Dr. Pepper. Delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper. The one fans deserve. Welcome back. Bijan Robinson accounted for 48 of the 66 yards on the drive. 2 touchdowns, 1 rushing, 1 receiving. As you take a look at his numbers, tell you what, he's looking like Reggie Bush today. They've had a couple Heisman Trophy winners here in Texas. How about this guy, Ricky Williams? 1998 run, Ricky run. And then the Tyler Rose himself, the great and legendary Earl Campbell. Can they get another one at Texas? Good chance. Very good chance.
I mean, this is stating the obvious. It would have helped immensely if they could have held on and won last week, in particular with that one run that he had. That was, I mean, it looked like Reggie cutting across the field, the stiff arm, the electricity. But like I said, I think the nature of this season and how it's playing out is going to lend itself to somebody coming from a team that might be a non-traditional Heisman winner, and maybe it's Bijan.
Dicker sends it away into the end zone. Let's take a look at some Bijan highlights.
Well, in the first series, they were clearly going to establish him, and this is part of Sarkisian's DNA is the entire offense runs through the running back. But the beauty of Bijan Robinson is that you can put him in so many different areas, and he can attack the defense in so many different ways, whether it's outside in the run, he can get out of the backfield and catch the ball. We saw him lined up as a wide receiver and catch the ball. He makes people miss. He's got 10 touches on the 2 TD drives. The other 3 drives for Texas, he didn't really touch the ball. I think that's probably a good blueprint.
Here's an option. Warren, nice cut. And he'll get to the 31, picks up 6. That's the thing they used to say about Reggie Bush all the time. I was talking to LeVar Arrington recently, the Butkus Award-winning linebacker at Penn State. They say Reggie could juke you, then all of a sudden he's gone. He's just gone.
Yes.
Second down and 4th at 31. Play fake. Sanders, sideline. Incomplete.
Just haven't been sharp in the passing game. There have been things there for Oklahoma State, but Sanders has just been a bit high when trying to throw the football down the field, even outside the numbers. He's got to get that ball down, drive the ball into the frame of his wide receivers, in particular on a down like this on 3rd and 4.
From the 31. Sanders again to throw. And it's intercepted. Finally got away from him, and Deshaun Jamison makes him play. Fives are wild here in Austin. Bijan Robinson. Deshaun Jamison balling out.
He's got the hitch route for a first down. I wonder if this ball may have slipped out of his hand because this is wildly inaccurate. Sanders is going to throw this ball way too far down the field for Rashad. Rashad Owens is just running a basic hitch. That means 5 yards and come back to the ball. And that ball was thrown at about 6, way too high. An easy pick for Jamison, who goes upstairs and nabs it.
First turnover of the game. 5th interception by Sanders this year. He threw 3 last time he was on the field.
Boy, I just get the sense that Steve Sarkisian's going to go for the jugular here. Potential shot here in the next couple plays.
First down at the 44. Thompson. And that one high and incomplete.
Good coverage on that bubble screen again. This secondary is experienced. Bernard Converse, he's seen it all, so he reacted immediately and was right there as they were trying to execute that bubble screen on the left side.
Second down and 10 at the 44. Bijan Robinson having a great first half. And Robinson jitterbugging, cuts it inside, gets to the 40. I just texted Reggie. And I said, do you like this kid, Robinson? He said, you know, I see a lot of myself in him.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Man. That's high praise. That is high praise.
Second down. Thompson rolls out, throws it underneath, caught. Josh Joshua Moore gets out of bounds. Texas is moving it easily. We always talk about Steve Sarkisian. What's his major talent as a coach?
Well, it's his ability to call plays. There are some guys that call plays, offensively or defensively, in our sport that are playing chess when everybody else is playing checkers. This is one of those guys. He is a brilliant play caller. He utilizes the personnel group, that's who's on the field, the formation, and then the concept, or what you would probably think of as the actual play, in order to attack the defense in ways that they just don't expect.
First down and 10. Thompson looking. Thompson goes through his read. Sideline caught. Again, Joshua Moore. And you talk about Sarkisian. He coached under Nick Saban. He coached under Pete Carroll. Two great defensive minds. But he played under one of the greatest offensive minds, plural, in the history of the sport of college football.
When he played at BYU, he was under Lavelle Edwards, and that passing game from the BYU days there in the 80s and early 90s, that was basically the jumping off point to the modern college passing game. The air raid has its origins philosophically from Norm Chow. He was the offensive coordinator. So the West Coast college offense had its origins under Lavelle Edwards. And you know, it was interesting because we talked with Steve about what did you take from Lavelle, being a player for Lavelle. And we expected him to say, like, oh, his brilliance, his offense, the concept. So you know what he said? He believed in me as a player. That's what I took from it. I went to the sideline on a big third down. He said, what do you want to run? And I knew right there that I wanted to make sure that my players someday would also have that belief that Lavelle gave to me.
Second down and 10. Robinson again. And think about some of the quarterbacks that played for BYU. Lavelle Edwards. Jim McMahon lit it up. He had over 40 records when he left. Ty Detmer. Robbie Bosco.
Yeah, Bosco. Jeez, man, I tell you,
and Steve Sarkisian.
Steve Sarkisian was a heck of a player, and you just think of who he's been able to cut his teeth under as a coach. He's coached under Pete Carroll and Nick Saban. Played for Lavelle Edwards. I mean, that's the who's who in our sport.
Third down and 10. Oh, it's intercepted. Jason Taylor down the sideline. Cowboys storming back. 85-yard pick six.
What a play. Jason Taylor, watch him reading the eyes of the quarterback, and he's just going to play heavy coverage, and he jumps this route with no hesitation, and he was gone like he knew it was coming. He sank down into that route immediately right at the snap of the football. That's great preparation. That's a great instinct from the safety position, and Jason Taylor brings his Cowboys right back in this game. What a play.
85-yard interception. Return for a touchdown for Oklahoma State. His first interception of the year. What a big one against Texas on the road. Extra point good. They've got veterans on this Oklahoma State defense. They play hard and fast, and they're right back in this one. Don't forget, you can find all of Joel's Breaking the Huddle content, including his weekly top 10 rankings at foxsports.com, the Fox Sports app, and CFB on Fox social platforms. What are you going to be talking about this week?
Probably this game a little bit. I tell you, it's just been it's been a breath of fresh air this year in college football. We've got so many great storylines. Teams that aren't normally up at the top. I mean, Cincinnati's number 3.
Wake Forest, Kentucky.
Kentucky. You know, this has been a wild year so far, and hopefully that continues. You think about what we've seen, even just in October, Gus.
You know what? You're absolutely right. This October has been full of surprises, with Alabama losing to an unranked team for the first time since 2007. Iowa is ranked 2nd in the AP poll for the first time since 1985. Kentucky is 6-0 in football for the first time since 1950. Wake Forest is 6-0 for the first time since 1944, when Pee Wee Walker was the head coach.
You know who the head coach of that?
Excuse me, P. Head Walker.
You know who the head coach of that Kentucky team was in 1950? Bear Bryant.
Says a whole lot there. First down and 10 to the 25. Xavier Worthy. And he's tackled by Malcolm Rodriguez. I was in Alabama recently, and we were talking about Bear. Last week I was in Alabama, and they said when Bear walked, there were two things that were most important: God and the bear. And some people felt that the bear was God.
So good.
Second down and 11. Thompson. Oh, and he's sacked. This Oklahoma State defense now starting to pin back their ears. Malcolm Rodriguez, first man to him.
Love watching Malcolm Rodriguez play, number 20. One of these super seniors. He's played a lot of football. Bednarik, Butkus, Nagurski watch list coming into the season. And watch as he's going to come around that right edge of the offense, and he's going against Roschon Johnson, and he just continues. And 3 Cowboys in there. Oklahoma State, this pass rush, their ability to put pressure on the quarterback, it's the best in the conference, one of the best in the nation. They do a great job.
Third down and 17 at the 18. Thompson rattled a little bit now. Texas unraveling a tad bit. Xavier Worthy, the target. Not a very good-looking series for the Longhorns.
No, and you just wondered what Thompson's confidence was going to be like after giving up that huge pick 6 on the last series to Jason Taylor. And then the front 7 for Oklahoma State ratchets up the pressure, and they're able to get to Thompson there. And yes, that Texas offense on the last series clearly looks a little shaken up.
So a pick 6, and then the series after 3 and out. Cameron Dicker from the 5 gets it off. Presley on the sideline, and he'll just step out of bounds around the 30. Tomorrow on Fox, it's one of the oldest rivalries in the NFL as Aaron Rodgers and the Packers battle Justin Fields and the Bears for control of the NFC North or other regional action. Check local listings for the game in your area, only on Fox and the Fox Sports app. How about rookie Justin Fields? 11th overall pick. Struggled in his first game against Cleveland. He got sacked 9 times, rebounded against the Lions, and then last week went to Las Vegas and beat the Raiders. So he's 2-1. Getting ready to play Aaron Rodgers. Last year, we were watching him, Joel, in Columbus.
That's right, and he was a pleasure to watch in college and just developed ever since the first game we saw him play until he was leaving Columbus, just always got better.
Martin. Some people feel that this young man, Tate Martin, senior, may be a Sunday player. Barron with the tackle.
I think he is. He's got the frame. He's got the athleticism. We saw one drop in the end zone today. That's got to get corrected, but 6'3", 186. He's got some wheels as well.
Second down and 6 at the 34. And he'll hand it to Warren with a big opening. Close to a first down. Rocker Meyer, the defender on the play. 5-yard gain.
Important series here for Oklahoma State. Can erase the deficit.
And it's Warren again, putting that hard foot in the ground. I don't know if he gets there. Keandre Colburn stops him.
I think they're going to give it to him there. A nice little second effort from Warren, and he is able to move the chains here for his offense. Just a hard-nosed runner, a workhorse. They give him the ball 20, 25, sometimes even 30 times a game.
First down to the 40.
Illegal snap, number 51. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
This is center Godlewski. Transfer from Miami of Ohio, played a ton of football at Miami of Ohio. So he's an experienced guy, even though he hasn't been in an Oklahoma State uniform for long. 6th year of eligibility. One of these, what I would call COVID seniors, or they call them super seniors. That experience and strength has paid off for them on the offensive line.
Empty backfield for Spencer Sanders. Trips at the bottom of your screen. Sanders looks the other way, and it's Owens. Jamison with some great defense. He already has a pick in this game.
Yeah, that's been a good battle over there, and he's done a really nice job. Deshaun Jameson is a senior from Houston, Texas, Lamar High School. Took advantage of an errant throw from Spencer Sanders. Got that pick here earlier in the game.
Second down and 9. Warren picking his way forward, and he is chopped down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play.
Just missed a cut here, Gus. Watch as he could have cut back to the right side. Right here, it's blocked perfectly. All he's got to do is go to his right. He can pick up more yardage. He tries to bounce out around the center, and there's nowhere to go in traffic.
Third down and 9 to the 41. And a timeout called by the Cowboys. Don't forget, coming up at halftime, Rob Stone, Brady Quinn, Reggie Bush, Matty Fresh, and Big Game Bob standing by with the State Farm halftime show. We missed those guys. They're not with us for the first time since the start of the season.
And for the first time all season, we have Southern California weather out here. It's 72 and
That's
sunny.
right.
It's beautiful today.
Oh, man. Here's a handoff to Warren. Warren following his blocks, hops forward, and first down Cowboys.
How about that run? Beautiful run. And again, remember earlier in the game, they kind of gambled on third down, running on 3rd and 10, almost got it. Here he's able to get it with that nice jump cut.
Sanders. And a nice throw. Beautiful catch. Rashad Owens in front of Deshaun Jameson. As you mentioned, they have been really going one-on-one against each other.
And if Jameson's going to continue to bite on those routes and try to be aggressive against those type of routes, they're going to have to double move him and go deep.
Second down and 8 at the 48.
Clock not a factor here with 2 timeouts. Great field position.
Spencer Sanders standing strong in the pocket and throws a beautiful ball. Another catch. This time it's Blaine Green, the freshman from Allen, Texas.
Good protection from that offensive line, and Sanders was able to wait and finally get that throw across the middle.
Gain of 18. First down at the 31. Warren not this time, as he's roughed up and taken down.
That was the LSU transfer,
Ray Thornton.
Yeah.
And a timeout on the field. 35 seconds remaining in the half. Back to Austin after this. (17-10), Texas, but Oklahoma State really starting to turn it up, find a rhythm on both sides of the ball.
Now just 1 timeout left, 35 seconds. Don't want to really complete this ball short of the chains. You'd have to burn that timeout. Start thinking about that clock and how they're working towards a score.
2nd and 12. Here's a screen and blown up. Great job, Ojomo with pressure. Benda also in on the play, number 33 for the Longhorns.
They're fortunate that that was an incompletion. If he catches that, they're going to tackle him right there. The clock's going to run. They have to take their last timeout, and they would have lost yards. So actually fortunate for Oklahoma State that was an incompletion. Here's the play. It's the most critical play of the half for them in order to try to get points. You just got to think Tay Martin's always the guy that they tried to target. Maybe they go there here.
3rd and 12 at the 33-yard line. Sideline pass caught. Martin trying to get upfield. He won't pick up the first down, but it'll be close as Josh Thompson was there defensively for UT.
Well, now what you got to do on 4th down, well, look at this. They're going to actually just snap the ball. Maybe try to get him to jump offside. Nope. Timeout for Mike Gundy. Boy, that was misplayed by Oklahoma State. I'll tell you why when we come back. 30 seconds.
seconds remaining in the first half. Oklahoma State down by 7, now out of timeouts, and they're going to bring in Tanner Brown for a field goal.
But because they tried to hurry up to the line of scrimmage and act like they were going for it, they take a timeout with 12 seconds. Now, after the kick, they still have to kick the ball off. If you're going to take a timeout and kick the field goal, wait until 3 seconds left in the half, then take the timeout, and then this kick would end the half, and you don't have to kick it off.
Tanner Brown from 39 yards away, and now Steve Sarkisian, he'll use his timeout. Make Tanner Brown think about it. Texas with 2 more left.
And he's kicking right into the wind. It's not going to affect him on distance on this kick, but just looking forward with that timeout situation, you know what this is going to do is it's going to probably allow Texas to return the kickoff. Okay, so if they make this, now they got a kickoff against the wind. You could put Bijan Robinson back there, like Reggie suggests, return some kicks, right? I mean, again, this is some mismanagement here that's going to benefit Steve Sarkisian with another chance at the end of the half.
Oklahoma State will get the football to start the second half from 39 yards away. Tanner Brown. And it's perfect. 17-13. Oklahoma State grinding. 8 seconds left. Big game for both these teams. The winner in the driver's seat to head to the Big 12 championship game. Texas will have a bye next week, and then followed up by back-to-back road games at Baylor and at Iowa State. Oklahoma State, they got another tough one next week. They head to Iowa State. Ames, a tough place to play. Followed by a game at home against Kansas.
Deshaun Jameson, he's taken 3 kicks back for touchdowns in his career. 2 kickoff, 1 punt, dangerous return man. He's back there with the true freshman, number 8, Xavier Worthy, probably the fastest player on the team.
And a short kick, fair caught around the 30 with 8 seconds remaining. And Texas with 2 timeouts. Cameron Dicker, such a successful player in this Big 12 as the place kicker. His career-long 57 yards. They have 2 timeouts. Where do they have to go, Joel, to get in Dicker's range?
Basically about the 40-yard line on the opposite side of the 50. They've got 2 timeouts left, 8 seconds. They would have to throw something right down the middle, probably a seam route to get there.
They run it instead. Robinson, he'll get a first down. Clock will stop with 2 seconds while they move the chains. And Texas will let time run out. 17-13. Texas on top of Oklahoma State at the break. Time now for Rob Stone and the guys with the State Farm halftime show.
All right, Gus, Joel, thank you. And yes, we welcome you to the State Farm Fox College Football halftime show. Glad you're with us, Rob.
Big News Saturday is sponsored by AT&T Business. Welcome back to Austin, Texas. We're ready for the second half, and it should be a good one. 17-13, UT on top of OSU as we begin the third. Gus Johnson along with Joel Klatt, and both teams doing some really good things in that first half. Bijan Robinson for Texas showed that he's the real deal. And that Oklahoma State defense, they're tough as nails, had that pick 6.
They made a play when they needed it, right? And kind of turned the momentum of that first half. But really it was about Bijan Robinson and the creative ways that you can get him the ball and exploit some of the coverage that Oklahoma State was playing. Let's take a look at our second half connection, brought to you by AT&T Business, keeping your business connected with AT&T 5G. Here you're going to insert a linebacker actually as a fullback. He takes 2 linebackers. You free up your running back. He does not have to bull anybody over, just find a lane. But here you take advantage of that man-to-man coverage I was talking to you. This is a mismatch. Bijan Robinson on a linebacker. He's got the leverage. He's got the speed. Beautiful ball by Casey Thompson there. But then how about the pick 6? Brought Oklahoma State right back in this ball game. Terrific job by Jason Taylor, jumping that route, stepping in front of that pass, and taking it the distance. Here are your scoring drives for each team. Oklahoma State, they've scored a couple of times offensively, 22 plays on those drives, 2 field goals. Of course, their touchdown was a pick 6. Texas, 3 drives they've scored on, 22 plays, 2 touchdowns, and a field goal. So they've been able to punch it in when they've had their opportunities inside the 10.
Cameron Dicker will kick it away. Dominic Richardson is the deep man. Second half underway from Austin. And they'll start from the goal line. Richardson up the sideline, and he'll crash forward and get close to the 35. Let's go downstairs to Jenny Tack.
Gus just caught up with Coach Gundy, and overall he was pleased with the way it ended. Pick 6, you guys pointed out, it was huge for them. But he said the biggest issue is right now we're killing ourselves with these penalties. Unfortunately, we got to clean that up. The guys responded well because when you're playing Texas, couple big plays, they capitalize for Texas. Quick injury update, linebacker DeMarvion Overshawn, he's in street clothes. Asked Stark about his loss. He said it's a next man up mentality. Our defense is playing well. He's not worried about Casey Thompson's confidence, but he said this is all about how we respond in the second half and finish this one to show who we are.
All right, Jenny, thank you very much. Texas showing blitz. Sanders gets it off to Cassidy, and Cassidy with a terrific gain. Jalen Ford brings him down, but it's a pickup of 18 yards.
And that front 7 for Texas, they were selling out in that second quarter to try to stop the run of Jaylen Warren. And so they come out right away, Oklahoma State, put that fake right into the face of the defense and spin out into that boot action, and it's wide open for Braden Cassidy. Call this a slide. When this tight end's going to slide all the way across the formation, and all you got to do as a quarterback is make sure that you're getting enough depth so that a free rusher can't get you right away. Sanders does that, and it's first down Oklahoma State with a Longhorn down.
Now Josh Thompson is the injured Longhorn.
He missed the TCU game with a concussion, and he was involved on that tackle as Cassidy was headed up that right sideline. Remember, Cassidy from right here in the Austin area got 6'2", 240, so a big fella.
Josh Thompson from Nacogdoches, Texas. Now remember, Joel, there's a Nacogdoches, Texas, and a Natchitoches, I think that's how you say it, Natchitoches, Louisiana.
Well, what's the difference?
One's in Texas, one's in Louisiana. And Josh Thompson gets up, walks away.
So just pronunciation.
It's just a pronunciation. The one in Louisiana, you don't call it Nacogdoches, you call it Natchitoches. The one in Texas, I believe you call it Nacogdoches. First down. Here's Warren straight ahead. Off a bobble snap, Jalen Ford with the tackle.
Well, now you're going to have the depth of this Texas defense really tested. And they were thin at the linebacker spot and in the secondary coming in. And now, as Jenny told us, Overshown not in the game, and now Josh Thompson leaves the game. And we'll see how Texas can hold up defensively.
2nd and 8. Play fake. Sanders sets up deep in the pocket. Lets it go. And almost intercepted. Dangerous pass. And good coverage by Jahdae Barron, intended for Presley.
Well, and here's the replacement for Josh Thompson, is 23, Jahdae Barron, and he goes up and almost gets that one, gets a right hand on it as he kind of collides with Presley, and now a good opportunity for Texas to try to get off the field on their first series of the second half.
3rd down and 8 from the 40. Sanders in trouble. Sanders just flicks it away and incomplete. Texas bringing some great pressure Ogofu in the backfield.
Yeah, watch Ogofu, and he's going to just spin and be right in the face of Sanders almost immediately right here as a free rusher. That is a bad feeling as a quarterback. Sanders just tries to get himself outside of the pocket so he can throw that ball away. Nice design there from defensive coordinator Pete Kwiatkowski, who's able to get some pressure on Sanders on third down.
Tim Hutton. Jamison, the deep man. Lets it go over his head. And into the end zone for a touchback. Tonight on Fox, it's a Pac-12 showdown as Dorian Thompson-Robinson leads the rushing attack of UCLA against Dylan Morris and Washington. It all kicks off tonight at 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific on Fox and the Fox Sports app.
You know, Washington has struggled a little bit on their run defense. Michigan got after them a bit, Oregon State, and that's where UCLA is strong. And you take a look at since 2016, their resurgence this season, they only had 2 weeks where they were ranked. Prior to this year, they've already been ranked in 4 weeks. They're 4-2. So Chip Kelly, Zach Charbonnet, Dorian Thompson-Robinson getting things done in Westwood.
Zach Charbonnet, the Michigan transfer, and they'll give it to Robinson on first down. And look at Bijan Robinson. Gain 9. Harvell Peel with the tackle. I don't know, Joel, in my opinion, it seems like Texas isn't giving them the ball enough.
Well, I mean,
I know you have to be balanced, but
you do have to be balanced, and you just have to watch the workload. And this is Bijan. He's going to come off the field. That was his 14th carry. They've already thrown it to him 3 different times. And you don't want to necessarily expose him too much. But remember, against TCU, he got 35 carries.
82 yards for Robinson. Now Roschon Johnson comes in. Lacey with the tackle. He'll pick up the first down. Especially with his ability to catch the ball out of the backfield, get lined up on a linebacker, man. That's a big play right there.
Huge advantage, isn't it? We already saw that on that touchdown catch. He's got 3 catches for 38 yards. He did take that one into the end zone when he was lined up on the linebacker in man coverage.
First down and 10 at the 31. And it's caught. Nicely done. Xavier Worthy turning it up. The freshman high, stepping and finally brought down in midfield. Harvell Peel with the tackle, but it's a gain of 19.
You know, sometimes you just got to take the easy throw when it's in front of you. And right here, you've got soft coverage on the outside from the corner. And Xavier Worthy is able to just stop in front of Jarek Bernard-Converse, get an easy completion, and then you see some of the speed and dynamic athletic ability as he runs after the catch.
First down and 10 at the 50. Play action. Thompson scrambling. Thompson turns it up, and Casey Thompson using his legs gains 12 yards. Devin Harper there to usher him out of bounds.
The quarterback's job is to always make the offense right. Watch the coverage down the field. They do everything perfect. Nobody is open here. But Casey Thompson has the ability to still make the offense right. He sees the green grass or turf, if you will, on the left side, and he takes off. That's a great decision, and he moves the chains.
Began the season as the backup to Hudson Card. And it's Robinson again. Bijan Robinson. Give him the ball. Touchdown, Texas. 38 yards. New York, get ready. Because Bijan Robinson is going to be there when the dust settles.
Great block on the outside. Watch Christian Jones. He's going to get a block right here, and that seals the edge. When you give this guy the edge, see ya. It is gone. He finds the seam, he turns on the juice, and then that little cutback, one-on-one in the open field. You're almost never going to tackle number 5. Touchdown Longhorns.
15 carries, 120 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 rushing, 1 receiving for Bijan Robinson. Big B putting in work today. Cameron Dicker for the extra point. And it's good. 24-13, Texas. Best player on the field. Showing off in Austin. Big Noon Saturday is sponsored by Wendy's, official breakfast of NCAA football. There have been a lot of elite running backs to play at Texas, including Heisman Trophy winner Ricky Williams and Tyler Rose. And they have another one. Bijan Robinson, sophomore from Tucson, Arizona. Look at the numbers today, folks. 120 yards rushing, 158 total yards, 3 touchdowns. And we're just getting started in the second half. Dicker kicks it off. Presley. And Oklahoma State starts from the 5-yard line. It's Richardson. And Richardson with a decent return. Let's go downstairs and check in with JT. What do you got?
And what stands out, Gus, about Robinson, when you ask players and coaches to describe the running back, they all say player or person, because he is equally great at both. His smile lights up a room. His work ethic lights up the team. It's hard to find anyone who will say anything negative about him. And it kind of goes back to why he wanted to go to Texas. You know, it was a big deal when he decided to go here over Ohio State, and he has stuck to his word. He said all along, getting Texas back to where it needs to be is my focus. That is what he is continuing to do, and wow, he's leading the way today, Gus.
All right, thank you very much, Jenny. What a wonderful young man. Is having an outstanding performance today and this season. First down and 10 for Oklahoma State. They've been resilient. And they'll hand it off. Warren picks up a couple.
They're going to have to do something here, though, in order to keep touch with Texas that they haven't been able to do all year. And that's score a point in the third quarter. They're the only team in the FBS yet to score a point in the third quarter this season. So something is going wrong outside of the halftime. And they've got to find a way to drive the ball and keep touch with Texas' explosive offense.
Second down and 8, quarterback run for Sanders. Didn't fool anybody. Ojimo.
This defensive line has played really well so far today. Remember, this is a team that gave up 340 yards rushing basically against Oklahoma. It looked like he had a hole, and then it was just closed as the defensive end, Collins and Ojimo, were right there. And another third down opportunity to get off the field. What we've seen from Texas is pressure, bringing the linebackers, forcing Sanders to get the ball out of his hands early and put pressure in his face.
Third down and 7 at the 31. And it's Warren. Tries to cut it inside, unable to. And he'll go down short of the first down. Devin Richardson, first contact for UT.
Boy, I know we've seen them run it a couple of times on third down and long, and they got one almost the other. But this one, this was heavy run defense, only one safety deep. Again, the defensive line winning the line of scrimmage. Warren barely able to get even back to that blue line, which is the line of scrimmage. Away with a little bit of a face mask there. That could have been a huge penalty to go for Oklahoma State.
4th 3 and out for Oklahoma State. Jamison would love a chance to return it. Get away from the football. Takes Oklahoma State bounce all the way down inside the 5-yard line. They'll mark it at the 7. A 60-yard punt. Big Noon Saturday is sponsored by Geico. Save even more when you bundle home and car insurance. And by Ram Trucks, Motor Trend's Truck of the Year for the 3rd year in a row. Welcome back to Austin. Bijan Robinson putting on a show today. Look at the numbers. Oklahoma last week 139. Today 158. 3 scores. Get to see him play some more right now. First down and 10 at the 7.
False start, number 75. Offense, half the distance to the goal. Still first down.
You know, the way that Texas' defense is playing and the ineffective nature of the Oklahoma State offense, this is the Cowboys' chance to try to create momentum for their offense, create a short field. Similar to what we saw last week. We did that Iowa-Penn State game. That Iowa defense continued to put their offense in a good position.
Robinson And getting back to the defense for Texas, what are the adjustments they've made? What have they done? What are they getting right? What did they correct?
Really, two things. One is we haven't seen the missed tackles that have plagued them. They've been a better tackling team today. And then I think their defensive line is just winning the line of scrimmage to a better degree, a more consistent degree than they did a week ago. And those two things, that's how thin the margin is, you know.
And we know Oklahoma State's offense is not Oklahoma's offense.
Correct. And Oklahoma with Caleb Williams at quarterback was a different dynamic, in particular with his ability to run the football. You saw that on the 4th down play in which he went 66 yards. But that's really where Texas has improved, at least today for me, is their defensive line and their ability to tackle in space.
3rd down and 9 for the Longhorns. Robinson, the single back. Snap. Thompson goes down. So Oklahoma State doing a nice job on defense, and they have a good chance of giving their offense a short field to work with.
Well, that was just a totally ineffective series. Here Thompson goes back to hand and just slips out of his hand. It looks like he took that bandage off of his right hand. Remember, he came into this game, his right thumb was banged up. He had a bandage on it. Didn't look like it was there. You wonder how good his grip is right now.
Cameron Dicker, back of his own end zone. No pressure. Presley with the fair catch inside Texas territory. A 43-yard punt. We'll take a break. Coming up, Oklahoma State. Great field position to start this drive. The Texas Longhorns are no stranger to being in close games. Since 2017, they have been in 29 one-possession games, which is second most in the country. 24 of those games have been in conference, with their most common opponents being Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. They lost last week to Oklahoma 55-48, but have won the last 2 against Oklahoma State. 1st down and 10 at the 47. Best field position of the day for the Cowboys. Richardson in the backfield. They give it to him. Gets through the hole. Close to the 45.
Got to get back to getting the quarterback outside of the pocket. Remember that boot game that's been successful. They've run it twice for big yardage each time.
2nd down and 9 at the 46. Sanders. Incomplete. Martin the target.
That's Josh Thompson, looks like, back on the field for Texas. Remember, he was injured on one of the previous series, got nicked up, and now again a 3rd and long. Coach Stoops talked about it at halftime. One of the problems with Oklahoma State offensively, they've been in 3rd and long the entire day, and that's when the pressure is ratcheted up from Texas's defensive front 7.
3rd down and 9. Sanders standing in the pocket, delivers to the sideline. That one's short, intended for Presley. And a flag has been thrown.
It's thrown fairly late. I think Ray Thornton is the one that hit Spencer Sanders on that play. It looked like he hit him right when he threw it. I'm just wondering if he took him to the ground late.
Passer number 46. Defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
I mean, that is a huge penalty right there, because Oklahoma State had no juice on offense. Really, the 2 series during this half. Here's Thornton watching. He hits him right here. Maybe is he going to drive him into the ground? That's what they're going to call him.
Come on, Joel.
Well, when you drive him into...
That's not a penalty, is it?
I mean, listen, it happened to me a million times and the flag wasn't thrown, but that was back in 2005, right? I mean, in today's day and age, if you drive them into the ground late after the step, after 2 steps, they're going to call it.
Maybe they should just put a flag on him. Ford with the tackle. Richardson running the football. Oklahoma State gets another break. Loss of 1 on the play. 2nd down and 11.
And they've got to take advantage. Remember, they haven't been able to stick it in the end zone with their offense. Their touchdown was a pick 6. They've got to find something here on offense to get going.
Play fake. Sanders rolls out, buys time, guns it, and throws it at the feet of Martin.
Their first and second down plan is just not working. Every set of downs, it's just hand the ball off, nondescript run play into the middle of the line on first down, drop back on second down, Sanders runs for his life, and then it's a 3rd and long. They've got to mix it up on offense. Here, I think you got to go to your best player. Capitalize on that last penalty. Tay Martin has got to get targeted number 1 somehow, some way.
3rd down and 11 from the Texas 32. Spencer Sanders, screen. Richardson with room. Nice run. Richardson still moving, dives forward and gets to the 6. Adam Mora with the saving tackle, 24-yard gain, 1st down. Chains keep moving for OSU.
And finally, a little change up from this offense. Great blocking down the field, and right here just outruns the defensive tackle, T'Vondre Sweat. Richardson is able to stay in bounds and create a bigger play, and now setting up his offense inside the 10.
1st down and goal at the 8 for the Cowboys. Richardson remains in the game. Sanders, the fade in the corner, incomplete. Rashad Owens covered by Deshaun Jameson.
I mean, they got to find some other way to get Sanders going. Gus, he just launched the ball out of bounds on a fade. Like, you can't do that as a quarterback. You're inside the 10. You can't throw it 8 yards out of bounds. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar can't catch that pass.
2nd down and goal at the 8. Richardson. And Richardson ridden down. Texas defense starting to feel it now. No gain. Jalen Ford. Ogofu combining on the play. Brings up 3rd down and goal at the 8. Richardson runs it. He's got blockers, but will not get to the end zone. And he's down inside the 5. You think maybe 4-down territory? Do you go for it here? Or do you take the points?
I think they're going to take the points, make it a 1-score game. You got to make it a 1-possession game. If it's a multiple, you got to at least condense it to that point. That's keeping Texas at least within reach, but that offense has got to find some continuity, in particular inside the 10-yard line. Another red zone stop for Texas.
Tanner Brown from 21 yards away. And it's good. Under 5 minutes to play in the 3rd, 24-16. Texas. Texas on top of Oklahoma State. And the Cowboys 3 drives inside the Texas 25-yard line, 3 field goals. And right now, that's the story. Remember, the last 4 meetings between these 2 teams have been decided by 7 points or less, and we might well be looking at another one today.
And as you know, I mean, we've done a ton of great games this year, and when you get into those tight games, what comes at a premium? Taking advantage of your scoring opportunities, and Texas has done that so far. Oklahoma State has not.
Cowboys send it off. Jameson will let it go over his head and end of the end zone. So let's flash back to last year. Oklahoma State entered last year's game versus Texas as the only undefeated team in the Big 12, but Texas put an end to that. The game went to overtime where Sam Ehlinger found Joshua Moore for a touchdown. Then Joseph Asai sacked Spencer Sanders on 4th down to end the game. Asai finished the game with 2 tackles, 12 tackles rather, 6 tackles for a loss and 3 sacks. Longhorns won at 41-34.
Well, we've seen really good Texas offense. We've seen really bad Texas offense. When they've been good, everything runs through number 5. Handing it to him, throwing it to him. He's got to touch the ball.
From the 25, they start. And they'll give it to Robinson. Bijan Robinson stopped by Tanner Lacey for a gain of 2.
He's most effective when they run that stretch play, and they do it into the short side. Gus, remember we were talking about that last week. That means the towards the Texas bench, or the short side of the field here down towards the bottom of your screen. And what Oklahoma State has done now, look at this little adjustment. They've walked out the defensive end to be an edge player on that short side as to not give them the edge for Bijan Robinson.
Now Robinson, the receiver. And Thompson over the middle. Completes the pass. And it's Roschon Johnson for a gain of 6.
First half, they had a huge completion down the field on a third down because Oklahoma State, they're great on third down defensively, but it's because they sell out. They play heavy coverage down low right at the sticks. They talk about treating the first down line like the goal line. You watch all these guys start creeping up near the line of scrimmage, and that's when you can get a little bit of a big play behind them.
3rd and 3, fumbled snap. Thompson just throws it away. Second time that's happened today.
You just get the sense that he might be struggling with that hand, that thumb. And now maybe that was also low. Looked like that snap was maybe a little bit low towards his right foot. Jake Majors, the center. But there's certainly been a problem. We've seen that a number of times today. He's telling Sarkisian right there. He's like, look, I was just trying to throw it away because the snap was so low. And Sarkisian's got to be frustrated with the lack of offensive production in some of these series.
And right on cue, Sarkisian shows his frustration.
That's right. That's right.
Dicker. Presley. Allows it to take a bounce, and it will be downed at the 20. 48-yard punt. Don't forget, next week, Big Noon Saturday is heading to Ann Arbor, where the undefeated number 8 Michigan Wolverines are hosting Northwestern. Michigan is one of 5 Big Ten teams ranked in the top 10, and they're looking to prove that they belong. Joel, Jenny, and I will be in Ann Arbor. It all starts with Big Noon kickoff at 10 a.m. Eastern on Fox.
Well, they've been fun to cover. We did their game against Wisconsin. They escaped Nebraska last week with a 3-point win. Blew a 13-point halftime lead in that one, but they've got some players now. Aiden Hutchinson, their defensive end, heck of a player. Cade McNamara, their quarterback. Blake Corum, one of their running backs.
First down, and it's Warren. Speaking of quarterbacks, what does Oklahoma do with their quarterback situation now?
I think you got to stick with Caleb Williams after the way he played in that second half against Texas. I'm sure Texas fans would expect that as well. I think Oklahoma fans should expect that as well. I just don't think that we've seen the last of Spencer Rattler on the field for a year.
2nd and 4 at the 26. And a first down. Martin with the catch. Spencer Sanders completes it. Oklahoma State in striking range. 1st and 10. An eternity remaining in this game. Spencer Sanders bouncing, winds up, down the sideline, and a flag is coming. Josh Thompson will be called for the penalty.
Pass interference, number 9. Defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
We've seen big penalties on the Texas defense. You know, a couple on third downs that have continued series. We saw it on the last series. Here's another one. Thompson clearly holding, then just tackling Tay Martin to the ground as that ball is headed his direction. But what we haven't seen yet is Oklahoma State take advantage of some of these penalties and find some continuity on the offensive side.
Texas 8 penalties for 70 yards. Warren charging ahead.
The front 7 has played really well, haven't they, against the run, especially a week after giving up the amount of yardage that they did in the run game. They gave up a ton of yards to Arkansas in the run game, to Oklahoma, and here a strong rushing team in Oklahoma State. They've been very good up front.
2nd and 7. Warren. Jalen Warren picks up 2. Third down and 5. Big third down for Oklahoma State. They need this one. Cowboys trying to find some magic. Spencer Sanders runs the option, pitches it. Warren turns it up. Warren chopped down. Great play by Josh Thompson. Thompson went out with an injury, came back in. Terrific open field tackle for the young man from Nacogdoches, Texas.
I think you've got to go for this in this field position. I know they haven't had a lot of success, but they're going to punt this one away, putting a little faith in their defense. Remember, their defense for the most part have played well, in particular in the last couple of series where Texas has not shown any form on offense. I think that's what ultimately is making the decision for Mike Gundy.
Tom Hutton hunting from the 40. Jamison comes up to field it, and it will be down inside the 20. A 28-yard punt.
Boy, this defense has answered the bell for Texas, and Mike Gundy is trying to find something offensively, and he knew that this was going to be a struggle. Talking to him this week and then even today before the game, he said, listen, we're going to try to find a way. And then he looked at me and he says, I don't know how, but we're going to try to find a way. And they have this year. Remember, they played an ugly game against Boise State. They threw the ball for just over 80 yards. They had a rash of injuries at wide receiver and running back L.D. Brown, a 6-year running back, went down. That's when they went to Jaylen Warren. They found a way to win that one 21-20 on the road. But they're going to have to reach down deep here and try to figure out some way to get momentum out of their defense.
First down and 10 of the 19. Play fake. Thompson blasted as he throws the football. Incomplete. Whoa. What a hit by Malcolm Rodriguez. Bringing the pain.
It looks like Thompson is still down.
We've been seeing quarterbacks go down everywhere in both pro football and college football. Look at this.
This hit. Oof.
Last week it was Sean Clifford for us. The week before, Sean Clifford from Penn State. The week before, Graham Mertz, Wisconsin. We saw Jack Cohn go down for Notre Dame. Joe Burrow went down for the Cincinnati Bengals. Russell Wilson is out for the Seattle Seahawks. The young quarterback from the New York Giants had a concussion last week. He's gone. Quarterbacks have been getting crushed.
Now you're going to go back to the man who started the season as the starter. Very talented freshman Hudson Card. Right here in Austin from Lake Travis. 61%, 300 yards and 2 touchdowns on the season. He'll get a nice ovation from this crowd. He has handled this situation very well. Losing his job to Casey Thompson, now coming back in a tight one-possession ball game in Big 12 play.
Second and 10 at the 19. Robinson scooting forward. Now Hudson Card, 6'2", 200, a redshirt freshman. On the season, he's 24 of 39, 314 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks, and he'll go out.
Thompson right back on the field. Get the sense maybe he just got the wind knocked out of him. Had to take a play. Tough player. Comes from a great family, a great football family.
3rd and 6. Thompson. Incomplete. And that'll take us to the end of the 3rd quarter. Joshua Moore, the intended receiver. Good ball game we got here, folks. Texas, Oklahoma State. Back for the 4th in a minute. Big Noon Saturday, sponsored by AT&T Business. Start of the 4th quarter, 24-16 is our score. Texas scoring 7 in the 3rd, Cowboys 3. Gus, Joel, Jenny, Mikey Rulebooks with you from Austin, Texas. Texas punting, Dicker. Off a great kick. Takes a big bounce all the way. Oh, into the end zone for a touchback. 77-yard punt.
Pacific Life Game Summary, sponsored by Pacific Life. More than 150 years strong. Protect what matters most. It's been really the Bijan Robinson day for Texas on offense. 166 total yards, 3 touchdowns. He's done it in a number of different ways. Handed it to him on the edge, thrown it to him out of the backfield, thrown it to him as a wide receiver. He's been sensational, folks, and really the one bright spot for that Texas team on offense. They have shined thus far on defense, in particular stopping the run. This Oklahoma State team wants to run the football as we see a Longhorn down. And that Texas defensive front, a week after getting shredded by OU in the run game and Kennedy Brooks, they have shown up and they have played really well and forced the game into the hands of Spencer Sanders, the quarterback from Oklahoma State.
Looks like that's Keaton Crawford, sophomore from Tyler, the injured Longhorn. But you have to like the way Oklahoma State continues to grind, continues to fight, especially that defense.
I feel like Mike Gundy needs to eat an Oreo and separate out. Hanging around. You know, I mean, it's like, that's just the way it feels, because it doesn't. Texas has outgained them 316 to 228. This offense haven't been able to get into the end zone. The pick six obviously have been a huge moment in this game for Oklahoma State. But it doesn't matter. None of that matters. That's what you got to think about if you're the Oklahoma State offense, if you're Spencer Sanders. It doesn't matter what has happened in this game. It only matters what's about to happen. You got to clear your mind and clear the look for yourself to throw the football down the field.
Remember, Texas gave up a big lead last week against Oklahoma. First down at the 20. Sanders throwing on the run, and it's caught. Beautiful job by Brendan Presley to haul that one in for a 14-yard gain.
And that's when they've been at their best, in that boot game. Fake the run inside, get the quarterback outside of the pocket, use the aggressive defense against them. They're fast flow, trying to stop that run. There's the control. There's the 2 feet in. Beautiful catch.
First down at the 34. Warren with room, and Warren spins and will be dropped at the 40.
See, Gus, in the run game, when you control the flow of the defense, when you just let them get after it and fast flow and hand the football off, they're going to stop the run. But when you control them with that boot game and you get outside of the pocket, it slows them down for just a beat, and then it opens up that run game again.
Second and 4. Warren again gets downhill. Warren gets through the hole. Warren, what a run for Jalen Warren. 28 yards. Thompson stops him. But he's picking him up and putting him down now.
Beautiful vision to find that left side. Nice block on that left side by the Cowboy back, Braden Cassidy. And then Warren's able to explode out that left side, picking up some speed, getting inside Texas territory.
Warren, 22 carries, 108 yards. He's averaging 4.9 yards per carry. First down. Oh, and they snap it back. Picked up Sanders. And he'll be dropped at the 40-yard line by Ray Thornton.
He wasn't looking for the snap. He was looking at the back next to him, trying to signal some sort of motion, and the ball was snapped. He was never looking at it. You got to pick it up at that point. You just got to make whatever you can and not make a good decision. There you see he's looking at his back. He's signaling to him to motion or do something formationally in the set, and now they put themselves way behind the chains.
A loss of 7, second and 17 from the Texas 40-yard line. Sanders, he'll run it. Sanders, and he'll dive forward, short of the first down, but a good run for Spencer Sanders, a gain of 15 yards.
Beautiful block by Josh Sills, the left guard. He double-teamed the nose guard right here, and then he's going to go up and get into the second level. Watch as he goes now to the second level, and he's able to get David Benda, the linebacker. That block allows Sanders to get way down the field, and a potential conversion here on 3rd and short.
3rd down and 2 at the 25. Sanders, sideline, caught, first down, Cowboys. Tay Martin again, and Tay Martin is having a really good day.
He is the focal point to the passing game, and anytime they give him some soft coverage, they like to stand up and just throw him the ball on the outside. Josh Thompson's in coverage. He's done a nice job today. But every time he gets that soft coverage, in particular when they can get a conversion, Sanders just stands up, takes the easy completion.
First down at the Texas 20. Warren pushing forward. He'll get 7.5, maybe 8 yards. Jaylan Ford stops him, but they give him 8. And right now, that Oklahoma State offensive line is really firing off the football.
They're veteran. We got some transfers up there, 6th-year players, and they're doing a nice job.
2nd and 2 at the 12. Warren again. And he's close to the first down. Depends on spot. But they give it to him. First down, Oklahoma State.
Well, now the question becomes, we've seen this movie before. Oklahoma State, a quality offensive series. They're in the red zone. They have to capitalize with touchdowns. Field goals are not going to cut it. They got to find a way to get this in the end zone.
First down and goal at the 10. Warren running left. Breaks it back. Jukes through the hole and falls down at the 8. Ojimo with the tackle. 3 drives inside Texas's 25-yard line, 3 field goals. That has to change for Mike Gundy. 2nd down and goal at the 7. Play fake. Sanders rolls out, fires! Touchdown, Cowboys! Presley found a soft spot in the end zone, and Oklahoma State is in business.
I keep telling you, when they run these little boot action type of plays, they find the open spots. Watch as Presley's going to come across the formation. Then he finds the soft spot. You see him just back up into the end zone, and Sanders is able to find him. And now in an 8-point game, it makes it a 2-point game, and they'll go for 2.
Cowboys going for 2. Sanders drops, throws it, and they won't get it. What a job by Jaylan Ford. But Oklahoma State gets the 6 points. Spencer Sanders finds Presley. We've got a ball game in the 4th here in Texas. Big Noon Saturday is sponsored by Pacific Life. More than 150 years strong. Protect what matters most. 24-22 as expected between these 2 teams. Oklahoma State ranked 12th in the nation. Texas 25th. Jaylen Warren for the Cowboys with 46 yards rushing on that last scoring drive for the Cowboys. 10 plays, 80 yards. That was their best drive of the day. Jamison, the deep man. He'll start from the 5. Jamison stumbles, gets up the sideline, and finally dropped as he crosses the 30. Let's go back to the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, because Gus, right now it's the difference in the game. Check out the recognition from Jaylan Ford. He's the linebacker right here, number 41. And as soon as he sees the back, Warren take off towards that side. Look at him just go. He slides out, and now he's in a perfect spot to make the tackle, and he didn't hesitate. You know how you become a great open field tackler? Go get them before they can get you. That's a beautiful job. And remember, Overshone is out in this game. The linebacker, Jaylan Ford, one of the backups from Frisco, Texas. And right now, he's made the biggest play of the game so far for Texas, maintaining that 2-point lead.
But Texas's offense has to respond now. They give it to Bijan Robinson. And Robinson will get back to the line of scrimmage. No gain.
This is eerily similar to last week. And I know it was a bigger lead that they have, but they couldn't run the ball in the second half. Robinson and that offensive line, more in particular, just couldn't do anything against OU's defense. And so the sputtering offense allowed Oklahoma to come back in that game. And here, Texas is sputtering on their last 3 straight punts, and here behind the chains on 2nd down.
2nd and 10. Let's see if they can get the ball to Robinson in space. Here's an option, and Robinson, and he'll go out of bounds, and he'll lose a couple of yards. Bernard Converse defensively for the Cowboys. That brings up 3rd down and 12. Oklahoma State's defense with a chance to get off the field and potentially give their offense something to work with.
And this is their strength. 3rd down defense. Remember, they understand where those chains are at, where the line to gain is at. They love to put pressure on the quarterback and play those heavy safeties right at the 1st down marker.
3rd and 12. Thompson steps up in the pocket and sacked. Colin Oliver. And Texas got trouble now because Oklahoma State is playing some ball.
They're doing a great job. Watch, he's going to come inside and work against the guard. Can't get there, and then he's able to get the quarterback to the ground. And Colin Oliver, just a freshman from Oklahoma City, has really come on. He had 2 sacks last week against Baylor in their last game, and here gets to the quarterback.
Cameron Dicker sends it away. And fielded by Presley, who gets up the sideline over the 35. Coming up, Oklahoma State with the football. Their defense really working hard. Last week, Texas let the Red River Showdown slip away from them. Leading 41-23 in the 3rd quarter over rivals Oklahoma. They were outscored 25-7 in the 4th quarter, allowing Kennedy Brooks to score 2 touchdowns, including a 33-yard run with 3 seconds remaining in the game. It was Texas's 4th straight loss to OU. Oklahoma State takes over at their own 37. Jaylen Warren is starting to rev up at running back for the Cowboys. Warren, here's the option. Now the reverse. Presley gets to the sideline. Presley stays in bounds and finally taken down by Deshaun Jameson after a 17-yard gain. That was a nice call.
Yeah, and we've seen that option play, that old school option like you've called a couple of times, but then this time they bring Presley right in between it on the end around.
1st down from the 46. And here's Warren. He'll throw back to Sanders. Sanders picks it up. And incomplete is the call. Good idea, bad execution.
And you can tell this is a kitchen sink type of series now inside of 8 minutes to go. They had some success running the football. They came out here on this series and it was about the trick plays. And this one just a little short, and Sanders can't get back to that ball, and it's incomplete.
Second down and 10 at the 46. Warren at the 40. Warren down the sideline. Jaylen Warren putting in work. That's a gain of 20.
Texas is going to get out of position. Watch the pressure here. It comes too far up the field. What does that allow? It allows the running back to cut inside of it and get down the sideline.
26 carries, 141 yards. Now Sanders screen. And Texas was ready for it. Big number 93, T'Vondre Sweat. A loss of 1, and there's an injured Longhorn.
I think that is Sweat who made the play, who's slow to get up. Well, the coaching staff talked to us, and they said, in particular, the defensive coordinator, Pete Kwiatkowski, said, we just didn't finish last week. And right now, these Longhorns fans, this is eerily similar. Texas has got to finish.
Time permitting, don't forget to join us after our game for College Football Extra presented by Crypto.com. Second down and 11 at the 27-yard line for Oklahoma State, the Texas 27. Spencer Sanders hands it off to Warren. Warren squirts through the hole, gets to the 20. Flag thrown.
Personal foul, hands to the face, number 98. Defense, half the distance to the goal, automatic. First down.
Penalties. Self-inflicted wounds by Texas today.
Boy, hasn't Warren been sensational today?
Unbelievable.
Here's 98, just a hands right into the face. Number 70, Hunter Woodard. But Warren now 27 carries on the day.
First down and 10 at the Texas 11. He'll get it again, crash forward and pick up a couple, but you have to give a lot of credit to Casey Dunn, the offensive coordinator, wide receivers coach, and the associate head coach for Mike Gundy's Oklahoma State Cowboys.
He was able to figure out the Rubik's Cube. Remember, they were struggling offensively, and then he finally got to a screen pass. There he is on the left in the black shirt. And he got to the screen pass, he got to the boot pass, and it's opened up the run.
Here's Sanders running it. Conversely, on the other end, as you see Warren, Jaylen Warren has become a multi-dimensional player. It looks like Bijan Robinson has become one-dimensional.
Well, that offense for Texas has not done their defense any favors, and now their defense, though, with a huge play here. Third down, the ability to try to force a kick. Now inside of 5 minutes and 40 seconds in the game.
Third down and 6 at the 7. Cowboys can still get a first down. Sanders pulls it down, and Sanders will go nowhere. Great job by the Texas defense. Jaylen Ford there, Alfred Collins as well. That brings up 4th and 6.
He's trying to go to Tay Martin. Check it out. Here's the outside. They're trying to get the one-on-one with the Oklahoma State wide receiver. He's the best on the team, but they've got double coverage, and Josh Thompson played it perfectly. He kind of plays outside leverage. Sanders has nowhere to go with the ball. He tries to run it, and there's the teeth of the Texas defense.
Tanner Brown has been perfect today, 3 for 3. Good from 29, 39, and 21. This one is from 24 yards away for the lead and a flag.
False start, number 48. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
Tanner is unproven. He's been very good today. Their normal kicker, Alex Hale, had a knee injury in the offseason, just has not been the same. They've moved on now to Tanner Brown, the transfer from UNLV. He's been good today.
From 29 now, and the lead. Tanner Brown. And it's good. With 4:37 to go, Oklahoma State takes a 25-24 lead over Texas. Steve Sarkisian has some work to do. Big Noon Saturday is sponsored by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Coming up next on Fox, the ALCS continues with a huge Game 2. The Red Sox take on the Astros. Catch the action next on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Gus Johnson, Joel Klatt, Jenny Taft with you. We've got a game now getting juicy here in Austin. 1-point affair. 25-24, Steve Sarkisian's first year. What does he do now to get his offense clicking? Give him 5 good reasons. This one kicked out of bounds. What a mistake by Oklahoma State. Texas will get good field position to start the drive. Tanner Brown, he's been perfect with field goals.
And he's been the reason they're up by 1, but this has been a great comeback from Oklahoma State. This was the touchdown. Spencer Sanders finds Presley in the end zone. They did miss on the 2-point try, but then after a quality defensive series, that offense went right back down the field, got the field goal. Texas has been great in the red zone defensively, forcing all these field goals, which is now what puts them in position to be only a point down here inside of 5 minutes.
And remember, Texas has a kicker that has performed in pressure moments in the past. First down and 10 at the 35. Robinson still moving. Bijan Robinson stopped by Lacey. There is the young man, Cameron Dicker. And who could forget his performance at the Red River Showdown not too long ago? Now a senior. His career-long 57.
There's some confusion here right now. It looks like they're sending Jake Majors off the field as he's limping, number 65. He's the center. So now you're going to reshuffle. 69, Andrew Carrick is going to come in, which means that Kerstetter, 68, is going to move down to center.
2nd and 1. And it's caught, but not enough for the first down as Xavier Worthy makes the grab, and he's dropped immediately by Thomas Harper. No gain.
This is when you should just quarterback sneak. You snap it quick, quarterback sneak, and move the set of downs.
Out of the shotgun. And they blow it again. Wow! Brock Martin looked like a busted play. A loss of 2 on 3rd and 1.
That short yardage game, when you get into the shotgun, you take your time. What you invite is that crashing style of defense from everybody. Look at everybody start crashing, and they can't get the tight end across the formation. And now on a 4th down, Sark will stay on the field. Texas going for it with 3:26 left.
Against a defense that has been tremendous today. 4th and 3. Thompson to throw it. Steps up, wants to run, and won't get there. Texas turns it over on downs. Brock Martin. Israel Antoine. Unbelievable.
I've told you on these critical downs, 3rd down and now 4th down for the defense or Oklahoma State. Watch right when Thompson wants to throw the ball. All of these players sitting right there at the line to gain. There's nowhere to go. There's no holes in the defense. Thompson then has to run it himself, but they're waiting for him as well. They play so heavy at the chains. This is one of the reasons they're one of the best teams in college football at getting off the field. Last year led the country in 3rd down defense. They're again top 15 this year, and here on a 4th down, they get the stop because they're willing to sell out at the line to gain.
So Oklahoma State takes over. 1st down and 10 at the 42. 3:12 to go. They'll hand it off. Warren. And Warren gets inside the 40. Jalen Ford with the tackle. Texas calls a timeout. We'll step away. 3:07 to go. Back to Austin after this. (25-24) Oklahoma State. As you look at the yards today, 357 for the Cowboys. Warren with 29 carries, 152 yards. 2nd down and 7. Warren again with a hole. Warren. 1st down, still on the move. Cuts it back inside. Hops inside the 10. And he gains 29. On 2nd and 7, Oklahoma State thumping and bumping.
I have no idea what Texas is doing with 2 high safeties when you know you're going to get run against. You've got to stop the run. You cannot allow them to get a 1st down. They play 2 high safeties as if they're in a soft prevent defense. You can't do that. You've got to sell out to stop the run, similar to what Oklahoma State did on the 4th down play. Get heavy down inside the box. They played soft, and they got burned. Warren has been sensational. 30 carries, 181 on the ground.
1st and goal. Sanders will run it. Touchdown, Cowboys. What a comeback for Oklahoma State.
Gus, they let him score. The defense was instructed to let him score, which is actually the smart play at that point. Keep your timeouts. Try to get some time. So Gundy, at this point, gosh, you almost feel like, do you go for 2 here? You got the momentum. I would think about going for 2 because going for 2 makes it a 2-possession game.
Tanner Brown lines up. Kicks it. It's good. Mike Gundy has been conservative today. Beautifully conservative. He took the 3 when he needed the 3 and finally got a couple of 6s and a 7. 32-24 OSU. 32-24 Oklahoma State leading Texas. And all year long, Oklahoma State, they found ways to win. They beat Missouri 23-16, Tulsa 28-23, Boise State 21-20, Kansas State 31-20, Baylor 24-14. They were down big in this game. Now they have a 32-24 lead with 2 minutes plus remaining. Jamison up the sideline, and he's upended at the 23, knocked out of bounds.
Well, the inability of the defense to come up and play tough against the run for Texas, it still blows my mind they had 2 safeties deep when they needed to get stops. Once that first down happened, Steve Sarkisian said, all right, let them score. I want to retain as much time and all my timeouts as I can. Even though they haven't had any success on offense, at least now he feels like he's got more of a legitimate series to try to go down and tie this ball game up.
First down and 10 to the 24. Texas with 2 timeouts. Over the middle, incomplete. And the thing that I've noticed more than anything, Bijan Robinson, we haven't hardly called his name in this 4th quarter.
Offside, number 9. Defense lined up into the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. First down.
They tried to get him the ball right there on a little isolation play right over the middle. But you've got 2 Oklahoma State defenders. Remember, this is a veteran team. They're going to know where number 5 is at all times. Every defensive back, they're going to know that he's the one that can change the game in an instant. And that's the type of veteran play that you're going to get out of this defense.
And here's Thompson over the middle. Oh, intercepted! McAllister. Tanner McAllister out of bounds at the 30 with 1:57 to go. And for back-to-back weeks, Texas has imploded.
And this is the inexperience of Casey Thompson. You get into this situation for one of the first times, and what you want to do as a quarterback is force the ball down the field. But watch as McAllister, he sinks. This ball has to go to the flat route. It's got to go to number 80, Cade Brewer. He's the open man. You force the ball deep to try to get it to a playmaker and Xavier Worthy because you think you've got to press it down the field to score a touchdown, but you can't score a touchdown right away. You have to continue to throw the ball to the open man. Brewer was open. He tries to go down the field to Worthy, and guess what? Tanner McAllister says, thank you very much. He threw it right to him, and he picked it off.
So a first down. At the 32, Warren slashing again. Timeout, Texas. They have 1 timeout left. Welcome back. 32-24. Oklahoma State leading on the road. Mike Gundy has been a brilliant strategist in this game today. 2nd and 4. Warren again. He'll lose yardage, but Texas may have to use their final timeout, and they do. We'll step away for 30 seconds. Mike Gundy determined to play to his team's strengths. The running game with Jaylen Warren, the kicking game with Tanner Brown and their defense.
Texas can get a stop. There'll be a field goal opportunity. If it's missed, Texas would get the ball back with about a minute left.
3rd and 6. Warren. First down, Cowboys.
Game over. And isn't it fitting that it's number 7? 32 carries, 185 yards, 5 a pop. And when they needed it the most, Casey Dunn, the offensive coordinator, where'd he go? His most reliable player, Jaylen Warren. What a performance from Jaylen Warren, the workhorse. You look at his carries over the last few games, 32, 27, 36 in his 3 previous, 95 carries. He comes in here, hey, coach, give it to me, 32.
Warren with 118 yards rushing in the 4th quarter. His 4th consecutive 100-yard game.
Time now for today's celebration moment, sponsored by Allstate. Well, we know who's going to be celebrating today, and it is the Oklahoma State Cowboys. This is the 4th down stop. That's when it was real, folks. That defense doing what it does best, getting off the field. Jim Knowles, the defensive coordinator, playing that heavy style coverage right at the chains, suffocating, not letting Casey Thompson and that Texas offense breathe at all. They shut down Bijan Robinson in the second half. He couldn't get going. Texas gained barely 1 or 2 yards in the 4th quarter. What a team win for the Cowboys.
And after trailing 24-13, Oklahoma State scored 19 straight points. And the Cowboys go on to defeat the Longhorns and remain undefeated. Mike Gundy puts on the visor, takes off the shades, and he's ready to go. Here's Jenny Taft.
Coach, congratulations. You've now won 6 of your last 7 in Austin. At one point, you're down 14. How did you complete this comeback?
Well, our guys did a good job. I tell you, it was a really, really good job coaching adjustments. But our players have been very, very resilient. And I couldn't be any more proud of their competitive nature. And we were able to rush the ball in the second half. And then defensively, we were fantastic.
Jaylen Warren has been a factor. I know he's new to the team this year. He came to the Big 12 to send a message. How important has he been for this offense?
Well, he's been a difference maker. And what he brings to our team is unselfish toughness. He's unselfish. He's humble. Plays hard. He's tough. So, you know, those guys are valuable.
Congratulations. Go enjoy it.
Good. Thank you.
The final score here at Texas Memorial Stadium. Oklahoma State 32, Texas 24. Coming up, we will take you to Houston for Game 2 coverage of the American League Championship Series. So long, everybody.
Let's hide in the attic.
No, in the basement. Why can't we just get in the running car?
Are you crazy? Let's hide behind the chainsaws.
Smart. Yeah, okay.
If you're in a horror movie, you make poor decisions. That's what you do.
I'm being quiet. Breathing on me.
If you want to save 15% or more on car insurance, you switch to Geico. It's what you do.
Wow, it really turned out great.
Yeah, and with the money we saved with Navy Federal Credit Union, it was practically free.
You know, I can't imagine where we'd be without them.
Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission.
We did it again. Verizon has been named America's most reliable network by RootMetrics. And our customers rated us #1 for network quality in America, according to J.D. Power. #1 in reliability 16 times in a row. Most awarded for network quality 27 times in a row. Proving once again that nobody builds networks like Verizon. That's why we're building 5G right. That's why there's only one best network.
The Red Sox look to even the series against the Astros. Let's go! The ALCS Game 2 today at 3:30 Eastern on Fox.
You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. You'd be like heaven to touch. I wanna hold you so much.
Fall in love with the highly awarded L certified by Lexus, a collection of pre-owned vehicles.
During the Fall Collection sales event, get special offers on select L certified models.
Exclusively at your Lexus dealer.
Here's a good Halloween trick. Buy a bunch of Reese's. There you go. Turn off all the lights in your house. Yeah. And then you just don't answer the door. Not sorry, Reese's.
The best kept skincare secret? Dr. Henry Thayer's alcohol-free witch hazel toner. One gentle gesture visibly improves texture, tone, and pore size. America's #1 toner brand, Thayer's Natural Remedies. Skincare since 1847.
Today's challenge, 3 toppings for just $10.
Mine has ham, pineapple, and bacon.
You just took me on a trip. Am I a pineapple person now? I'm a pineapple person now. Create yours only at Pizza Hut. No one out pizzas the Hut.
Your whole team can see your upper thigh. Pour that smooth roast and aim that camera up high. The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup.
The women in Oklahoma who not only fought breast cancer, but are now cancer-free. Fox 25 fights cancer. Coverage in every newscast, sponsored by the Oklahoma Proton Center.
Kai's Concepts is an Oklahoma City-based company that produces the Kai's Bar. Our mission is to change lives for the better through food, service, and charity, and not be in the IT business. That's why we turned to 3 Nines. They have helped us grow our business every step of the way. We trust 3 Nines, and you can too.
Thanks, Jeff. Join Kai's Concepts and other great Oklahoma companies that choose 3 Nines for all of their technology needs.
3 Nines Technology.
Technology solutions for your business.
Tractor Bob's, America's #1 Yanmar dealership. We carry a wide range of top quality brands so you can get the absolute best product for your needs. At Tractor Bob's, you can now represent your favorite Oklahoma football team with our OU and OSU package deals starting at just $196 per month with proof credit. If you're buying for the first time, adding on to your fleet, or just want to trade in your old equipment for new stuff, come by Tractor Bob's in Oklahoma City. TractorBob.com.
We're doing the research so you don't have to. Fox 25 Fact Check, only on Fox 25 News, because we got your back. Welcome to the Fox 25 postgame show, sponsored by Norman Regional Health Systems. Here are your hosts, Myron Patton and Curtis Fitzpatrick.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to our post-game show. And once again, the Oklahoma State Cowboys make Austin, Texas their home away from home. Curtis, I don't know if people realize, Oklahoma State has loved playing in Austin since 2010. Going to today's game, they had won 5 of the last 6 times they played in Austin, so now make it 6 of the last 7 times. And a game in which the running game was key again. And once again, a very, very good defense that came in ranked second in the Big 12 was a big key down the stretch as Oklahoma pulls off the win in impressive fashion over Steve Sarkisian and the Longhorns.
Yeah, Oklahoma State, Meyer, what can you say about them? Probably the thing that sums up this team more than anything, and I was just thinking about this, because, I think they got issues at quarterback, but they're resilient. They're resilient everywhere. Their defense is really good. Maybe the best defense in the Big 12. I mean, they have to win games like that, Myron, and they've done it all year long. Win it ugly, win it with pace, with ground control, with defense and special teams. Their special teams were fantastic tonight, and give credit to Mike Gundy holding that together, because I think a lot of Cowboy fans are frustrated with Spencer Sanders and the quarterback play, but give them credit, finding a way, sticking with it, and relying on that defense, and then eventually the ground game came through.
Yeah, we went to this game thinking Oklahoma State's going to have to run the football the last 3, now 4 weeks. They've run the ball awfully well, with Jaylen Warren being the big key, and he's followed the script of, going back to spring. A lot of people thought that he would be emerging, Oklahoma at that running back position. Cowboys have had some injuries there. But once again, he comes through with a big rushing performance against a Texas defense that is vulnerable against the rush. We saw it last week against Oklahoma, especially in the second half. They seemed to wear down.
Yeah, I mean, OSU kept pounding, and eventually they broke through. And listen, Spencer Sanders is going to get a lot of the talk. There are some issues there, but man, Jaylen Warren is the real deal, and they figured it out early on in the year. He wasn't the starting running back. And then that Boise State game is when he really emerged, and they have just they've done it smartly, Myron. They've ridden Jaylen Warren, 33 carries today. I mean, the guy is the workhorse, and he's not getting tired. You know, they spelled him with Dominic Richardson a little bit.
And I'd like to see him get some more carries.
Absolutely.
I think
well, you're going to have to, don't you think, going forward?
Because they were worried about the number of carries that he is getting, where he had 36 touches the last game, 33 carries today. They want to get that down, but when you're trying to win a football game and he's got it rolling the way he's rolling, it's hard to take the ball out of his hands. And once again, he came through for them today in impressive fashion. We got a lot planned. Let's look at some early highlights of the game, because the first drive of the game was not good with Oklahoma State likes, because they run a little trickery here with Keelan Johnson getting a nice game.
Yeah, listen, Texas, just 2 weeks in a row, they've done this, Meyer. Their offense, you know, maybe it catches the defense off guard. I mean, they surprised OU early, and they built up momentum. And then same thing happened today, and eventually the better side of the ball emerged, and Texas just hasn't been able to sustain that level of play on offense.
Yeah, Keelan Robinson, then Bijan Robinson, then Bijan Robinson finishes off the drive. An 11-play, 75-yard drive, took over 4 minutes. Was shaping up as a big offensive day for Texas. That's not what Mike Gundy was looking for.
I don't prefer to not get in a shootout with them. They've done some of that with big plays, and they accomplished some of that Saturday with big plays. And we all know that in this league, defensively, one of the most important things that we can get accomplished is minimizing big plays.
Well, it was Mike Gundy on Monday, you know, and the defense responded because the offense still wasn't doing much, but they come out, Christian Holmes, a big play. They started asserting themselves on the next drive.
Yeah, I stepped on Mike Gundy there. That was a great clip to put in there, because you did not want to see that if you're Oklahoma State. And their defense, man, they're not allowing teams to dictate the pace, Meyer, and that's what's impressive.
Yeah, and they got pressure on Casey Thompson there, getting in his face and, you know, forcing a bad throw, and that just kind of set the tone that Oklahoma State that this would not be an up and down score fest that Texas feels comfortable with, because they were putting pressure on Thompson, who did make some plays, and it kind of gave Oklahoma State's offense a chance to kind of get some things going, because they didn't do much. Spencer Sanders here on third down, you know, in a passing situation, looks like pretty good defense.